Come on, thing. Okay. So, recap. We did a shit ton last night. We went through the whole case with Edgeworth. We managed to find out who really killed his dad on that day 15 years ago, and turned out to be the prosecutor on the same case, Von Karma. But thankfully we managed to get enough evidence to both exonerate Yanni Yogi and Edgeworth. So it's time to see what's left. It's been 2 months since Maya left the office. 2 months without a single trial. I've had offers, but none I took. That is, until the day that girl showed up. Why do I come here to the office every day? Not like I want to work. There you are, finally. Where have you been? My sister's trial is tomorrow. Who are you? Who are you? Doesn't matter who I am. It only matters who you are. You're the famous defense attorney, Mia Fey. Oh. You're not May Fey, are you? I'm sorry, but Miss Mia Fey no longer works here. So you are the coffee boy? Phoenix Wright, a defense attorney. Right. Wait, you're the Phoenix Wright? Phoenix, why didn't you rename the place? Why is it still Fey & Co? The Phoenix Wright from the Edgeworth murder case? Yes, that's correct. It wasn't Edgeworth who was murdered, though. That's a relief, then. You're better than nobody. I'm sorry. I'm afraid I'm not taking cases right now. But you are Phoenix Wright, right? The undefeated defense attorney? Look, I'm not accepting any new cases. I'm sorry, but you'll have to try elsewhere. Please, I'm out of time. But... please, you have to help. It's my sister. Could it be? Okay, I'll hear you out. Really? Thank you so much. My name's Emma Sky. I'm a scientific investigator. Scientific investigator? Emma, was it? So you're a scientific investigator? Yes, that's right. Is something wrong? No, it's just you seem kind of, jumpy. Maybe just young? Young? I'll be 16 years old this year. Oh, I see. Wait, only 16? I'm set to be formally assigned to the forensics in 3 more years. What the hell? My work is becoming quite well known, at my age no less. So what exactly is your current position then? Well, legally speaking, guess you call me an 11th grader. But I'm ready to do my job, at my age no less. Great, another future professional in training. Okay, now I'm wondering, like, how close I was actually to the end, because that felt pretty definitive last time with Case 4, but, now we got a brand new character. This feels less like an epilogue than I was thinking. So I may have been mistaken. So what's this about a case? You said the trial's tomorrow? My sister didn't do it. She wouldn't stab someone with a knife. She wouldn't. So it's a murder case. I don't care if there's a witness who saw her do it. She didn't do it. I know she didn't do it. It's a scientific fact. And there's a witness. Just talk to her. You have to talk to her. Right. I suppose I will. I promised her I'd bring Mia Fey, but... that's interesting. How would she know Mia? So, you want to be a scientific investigator when you grow up, then? Excuse me? I'm not a child, I'll have you know. Still, it's good to have a goal, albeit a very unusual one. I believe investigation should be done scientifically. Don't you? Yeah. Sure can't fault her for a lack of enthusiasm. If this case is handled scientifically, I'm sure my sister's name will be cleared. Sister? I've been doing research, you know. I'm developing a new scientific method of case investigation. I'll show you when I'm done. I'm looking forward to it. Guess I should get down to the detention center and talk to her sister. My sister asked for her specifically. Mia Fey was a few years below her in school. So she went to the same school as Mia? She always told me to go to Mia if I ever needed a defense attorney. And, well, I need one. Incidentally, Mia's a woman. Mia? Yeah, I thought it was a little strange when I saw you too. Oh, it's nice of you to help your sister out like this. You must be close. Well, actually, when she gets like she is now, I kind of hate her. Huh? But she's my only family. Only family? What about your parents? They died in a car accident when I was little. Oh, sorry. Phoenix Wright, attorney at Foot and Mouth. Wonder what's wrong with Emma. She got quiet all of a sudden as soon as we arrived. Guard, I thought I'd told you I didn't want visitors. Sorry, ma'am. It's just your sister. No excuses. What did you not want to raise this year, Understood, ma'am. What was that all about? Oh, man. Hi, Lana. Funny. I seem to remember specifically telling you not to come here. Perhaps my memory's failing. Look! I didn't want to come here either, okay? Your trial's tomorrow, and you still don't have a defense attorney. I'll be the one in court tomorrow. This has nothing to do with you, Emma. Isn't that right, Mr. Wright? Hey, how do you know me? Mia mentioned you. I've heard quite a bit. I'm sorry, what is it exactly that you do? My name is Lana Skye. I'm chief prosecutor for this district. You're a prosecutor? Hey, why do all the prosecutors dress so fancy? I know, like, it's a thing with, suppose, like, English lawyers that they wear the powdered wigs and whatnot because, I don't know, tradition, but two sisters, one a lawyer. Could this be a coincidence? Emma, Lana, I mean, they're just like... Something wrong, Mr. Wright? There's something you should know from the start, which is, the suspect in this case has confessed to the crime. Huh? Wait, but the suspect is... me. I did it. Well, Mr. Wright? Well, why don't you begin by telling me what exactly happened? The crime took place yesterday, February 21st at 5:15 p.m. It's quite specific. It was in the witness's deposition. The witness clearly saw me committing the crime. That was a bit of bad luck, wasn't it? The crime took place in the underground parking lot at the prosecutor's office. The body was found in the trunk of my subordinate's car. Prosecutor's office, huh? Subordinate's car trunk. Classy. I was arrested on the spot. Caught red-handed, as it were. My. So who was the victim? An investigator with the police department. I suppose the correct term is detective. Detective? Death was due to a loss of blood. He was stabbed once in the stomach. By you? Death wasn't immediate, but the wound was fatal. I see. Allow me to repeat myself, Mr. Wright. The victim was a detective. You know what that means, don't you? Uh-oh. But, Mr. Wright, what does it mean? Well, it means the police department will consider it a matter of pride to have me found guilty. Yeah, if you kill a cop, they're gonna come down on you hard. They will use any means at their disposal to do so. This case gets worse with everything I learn. So, you're the chief prosecutor. That is correct. I'm responsible for overseeing every trial handled by the prosecutors in this district. I make sure the prosecutors have what they need to do the job, and manage every aspect. Those are my responsibilities in a nutshell. It's an awfully large nutshell. Still, I'm a little surprised. I would think you'd recognize the district's chief prosecutor, Mr. Wright. Huh? In fact, it seems impossible you wouldn't. Lana? What happened to your hand? Oh, this? I cut myself by accident. When I stabbed him, that is. Huh? I'm not very good at being a criminal, I suppose. How am I supposed to defend this? To change the subject. Wait, she was in the class ahead of Mia, wasn't she? You were in school with Mia, correct? A few years above her? Emma told you that too, didn't she? Well, then why not? I did drag him all the way here from his office. Although it seems he has very little in common with Mia. Hey! It was in law school. I was in my third year, and she was auditing the class. She was different than the other students. Different? She was strong. She'd do anything to become a defense attorney. Anything. That was probably why she was attracted to me. Excuse me? Intellectually attracted. Lana was top of her class in school. Sure. I was the best there was. Oh. I'm doing pretty good in school too, by the way. Sounds a bit different when Emma says it. Well, Mr. Wright? Excuse me? As you can plainly see, I'm admitting my guilt. I think it's safe to say, there's no way you can take this case. None. But Lana... You were always this way, weren't you? You never think of anyone but yourself. I know you didn't do it, Lana. I know. So how can you say that you did? If I lose you, I'll be all alone. I hate you, Lana. Mr. Wright? Yes? I believe our discussion here is ended. The rest, I leave to you. You mean you're requesting my services as your defense? Don't lose any sleep over it. Your client has confessed, after all. The case is over. Right. I'll do what I can to get to the bottom of this. Anna's confessed to the crime, yes. Something doesn't fit. It's that look in Emma's eyes. There's something else going on here. I'm going to find out what. There's no way you can take this case. Lady, did you hear about the 15-year-old case I won with a parrot and a metal detector? I have got this shit. I'm sorry, Mr. Wright. Huh? About what? My sister. She's not always like that, you know. I just never expected to be defending another prosecutor again. She's changed a lot. She used to be so gentle, always smiling. Everybody liked her. I see. Sorry, but I'm having trouble imagining that. What happened to her? I don't know for certain, myself. But I think maybe she... Well, maybe not. Sounds like there's something there that defies a simple scientific explanation. Let's go check out this underground parking lot at the prosecutor's office, shall we? Okay. Okay. God, just... pulling out the parrot and then pulling out the metal detector is just... That's gonna stick with me for a long time. So, this is the lot where it all happened. Looks like they're still investigating. Funny that my first visit to the prosecutor's office should be like this. Hey everyone, keep up the good work. Hey, what are you thinking? Well, they're gonna be my co-workers 3 years from now, after all. No harm in saying hello. Actually, there is. You know attorneys aren't supposed to examine crime scenes. I'm trying not to stand out too much here, see? Hey there! You expecting to get a nose to your partner? Partner? Oh my god. Oh, wait, what? Now what do we have here? Looks like a bambina got loose from the ranch is up to no good. Folks gotta learn to keep them doggies tied down, partner. Who the fuck let a cowboy in here? Mr. Marshall. Dude? What the hell? Marshall? It's more like a sheriff to me. Looky here, Bambina. I know how you feel. But this is my gang's gold strike, see? Strike? This is our claim, our territory, and the gold mine is evidence. If you're fixing to mess with what's ours, you'll regret it, partner. You know what dreams the cacti out in the desert dream? You wonder? What's this guy talking about? You head along home now. Happy trails, Bambina. Why is there a cowboy here? Is that, hombre a friend of yours? Kind of. Sort of. Yeah, he's a detective. He thinks he's a sheriff from the Wild West, it seems. Wow, this series does not disappoint. Or this game, at least. Look, a door. This must mean something. I'm not sure that doors mean anything. No! It won't open! A mysterious lock! I fail to see what mysterious about it. Mr. Wright, you need to learn to enjoy life more. Let's finish our investigation first, shall we? My god, she's Maya 2.0. This is where the cars leave the lot. The arrow on the ground makes it look a lot more like an entrance. What are you talking about? It's plainly an exit. Well, maybe it's both. Kind of dual purpose? Aha! The theory of relativity. What does that have to do with this? What? I've got to write this down. Hey, Mr. Wright. Maybe you know, was Mr. Relativity German? Or was he British? Mr. Relativity? Are you sure that was his name? No, it wasn't the theory of a man named Relativity. It was the theory of relativity. Ugh, Emma. Look, a stylish glass-walled room. Very nice. You can see the whole parking lot from in there. It says security. Maybe it's a cafe? Why would you think that? Huh? Cafe security. Yeah, that must be it. Let's check it out later. I hate to break it to you, but I think that's probably just a security guard office. You know, I scored a 97 on my science test the other day. What'd you score on everything else, Emma? Too bad they didn't have a test for common sense. Emma, what was your history score? Your English score? Or I guess it would be Japanese. Well, no time to waste. Let's get hunting for clues. I wonder what this is. Well, partner, looks like you got no intention of going home quietly. The sheriff. Like I said before, this here's our claim. You'd best be moseying along, unless you're fixing to bite the bullet. Are you threatening to shoot me? Yeah, scary. Could you tell us one thing? Who owns that car? Well, little Philly's got a good nose on her. You want to know who rides that red Mustang with the body in her saddle, eh? Please. No problem, partner. About time for vittles anyway. Get yourself to the saloon up on the 12th floor of the prospector's office. The prospector's office? Might just find you a cerveza you like. Prospector's office? Where does this guy think he is? And when, for that matter? Note to self. Look up Vittles, Saloon, Cerveza. Maybe we should check out room 1202, the High Prosecutor's office. In any case, stay away from the car. You can look around here all you like, just keep your paws off our claim. Right. Great. Great! Maybe there's some clues around here, Mr. Wright. Let's check it out. What's this? What's this? A wallet? Excuse me, officer. Wait! What are you doing, Mr. Wright? What am I doing? I just found this wallet, so I'm handing it over to the police. I don't believe it. This is real basic. Anything at a crime scene is evidence. Let's be scientific about this, please. Just put it in your pocket. Why do all the little girls around me want me to steal stuff? How is that scientific? Sounds like theft to me. I'm called to duty already, and at my tender age. Here, I'll teach you the trick to examine the evidence in detail, okay? The way her eyes are sparkling, I can tell she's been waiting for this. Okay, now, look at the court record. You have to be sure to examine evidence carefully on all sides. Now, let's start examining, from every angle. Okay, I have a new mechanic introduced. Oh, wow. I have a zoom. Oh. Well. Oh, look. I think there might be a clue there. You should check it out. Press the examine button. This is an ID card. Detective Bruce Goodman, ID number 5842189. See? Well, isn't scientific investigation useful? I guess, though I don't see what science has to do with it. Yeah, Fuzzles did say this was an extra case added later. So I guess it's just like a bonus for getting this version of the game. Let's be sure to examine every piece of evidence we find. So I guess the original game did end at case 4. So we have seen technically everything. I mean, not everything, but you know. I guess I've got to be on my toes from now on. Excuse me? Were you two all set? Us? Oh, okay. Are you a detective too? Well, no, you're dressed all fancy, so you've got to be a prosecutor. You're selling lunches? Here? This is a crime scene. Oh my gosh, she really does have lunch. Hello? Half and half, was it? Oh, thanks? And you, sir? Yes? Some crunchy goodness coming at you. Thanks? Interesting way of doing business. This area is off limits to anyone without clearance, especially passersby. Or are you officers? No, but you don't exactly look like the type to have clearance. Well, that's hardly a way to greet someone, even if my days as the cough-up queen are over. Cough-up? Huh? You know, I'm feeling kind of full. Maybe I'll pass on lunch. I'm quite connected to this case, you see. The images are burned into my eyes, they might say. Yes, all the sordid secrets. Secrets? I just noticed her hat isn't a feather, it's freaking onigiri. Dear me, you are a slow one, aren't you? And she's got, octopus as a necklace, doodad. I'm referring to the murder, the stabbing of that detective. What? A witness clearly saw me committing the crime. You mean you're the witness my sister was talking about? Please, cough-up queen, tell us what happened. My name is Angel Star. Don't you go forgetting it. Or before you know it, I'll have you whimpering at my heels. Yes, ma'am. She means it. Yeah, I thought that was a feather in her hair originally, but, no. She is decked out for food. Somehow, I knew. Yesterday was a day of destiny. I knew something was going to happen. Just like I know that the daily special on Friday every week is salmon. Destiny? Was yesterday special for some reason? You're a defense attorney, right? You should know then. You should know the foul misdeeds of the evil ones who haunt this den of iniquity. Evil ones? Prosecutors. They have no qualms at all about blackening the names of innocents. And yesterday they paid homage to the most evil one of all. They gave an award for King of Prosecutors. What a farce. So she's saying there was some sort of prosecutors convention yesterday. I was almost compelled to lace their lunches with something foul. Do you have personal grievances against prosecutors or something? Or is there some kind of scientific evidence of this, evil? Young miss, mock me at your own risk. You'll soon find out why they call me the cough-up queen. Ew. The most heinous of all the evil ones, the one they awarded yesterday. It was in his car that they found the body. Proof that he devours the evilest lunches of all. Really? Really what? I'm totally confused. You're not alone, Phoenix. One thing's clear, this lunch lady has a thing against prosecutors. So, what exactly was it you witnessed, Miss Star? It was a fascinating spectacle, to be sure. I now feel I know what they say when they talk about a woman's wrath. To see Lana Skye wield that knife so. Her knife flashed in anger, bringing him to a sad end. It was truly a sight to see. You mean you saw the very moment of the crime? The sound of his silvery ties to this world being cruelly cut still rings in my ears, and the rhythmic beat of Lana Skye's knife. Wait a minute, you know Lana Skye? Of course. It's quite a feat, becoming chief prosecutor. How many lunchboxes of sin did she pack to make that journey, I wonder? She always travels light. Why would this pretty lunch lady know the chief prosecutor's name? I imagine most people knew it already. You were just the one person who didn't. Also, she's supposed to be at a crime scene, was a witness in a police station, or at least was in a prosecutor's office. So she has something to do with that. Could we ask you a bit about yourself, Miss Starr? I come here every day to sell lunches. I import only the freshest and best from the Far East. For some reason, the box lunches are a hit here. Why not make the lunches here rather than import them? Did you say something? No. Only true connoisseurs can understand. The kind you can only tell someone who hasn't tried General Tso's Trilobite lunch set? It's not a trilobite, it's a fish. Never mind, you win. Don't even want to appreciate part of a trilobite's flavor. Anyway, I come here every day to sell lunches. My boyfriend works in the security room here at the prosecutor's office. Your boyfriend? See the security room over there? The glass-walled booth? I sell my lunches, and since I'm here anyway, I drop in to see him. Since you're here anyway, I guess selling lunches is more important than romance. So, to scientifically analyze the data available so far, you, Miss Starr, are a lunch vendor with an ulterior motive for coming here. Useful analysis. Not. Did you have a bad experience with the prosecutor, Miss Starr? I sense some hostility. Hostility? Ha! Perhaps. Prosecutors are all alike, and the bigger they get, the worse they smell. Kind of like a 10-day-old clams in the chowder. I wonder if Miss Starr was involved in some sort of legal trouble in the past. That'd be a sure case of food poisoning. Scientifically speaking, of course. I mean, now you're talking, Coffin Queen. Thought she was just a lunch vendor, but now I'm not so sure. Is she a lunchtime assassin? Do you know this guy? About this card. Lunchland vendors only accept cash, no cards. Especially not a card belonging to someone else. No, this isn't a credit card. It's an ID card. It belongs to a detective. And you're showing this to me, the lunch lady. Why? It's like showing a fine honeyed ham to a detective. Why do I always feel like I'm being mocked? Defense attorney must be able to fight. How about you? Do you think you can win? How about tackling Lunchland's Pickle Supreme Lunchbox? Oh my god, no. Wow, it's really crunchy. Emma, please. Box of pickles. Kind of a sad lunch if you ask me. Yum, pickles and rice. Just fantastic. Anyway, go to the office. I think we're done here. This is the kind of room that just screams, I can do the job. Quite a change from your office, really. Is that Edgeworth's coat over there? Look! There's a trophy or something here. Trophy? What, that shield? Takes real nerve to display stuff like that. Whoever's office this is, he must be a real stuck-up jerk. Mr. Phoenix Wright, you never tire of prying into other people's business, do you? That voice. I fucking knew it. Long time no see, Edgeworth. Huh? Ah! Mr. Edgeworth? You know him from somewhere? Of course! I'm his biggest fan! My sister introduced us once and... Right. Her sister was a chief prosecutor, after all. Well, what brings you here? I'll warn you, I've been known to be a real stuck-up jerk. No! No! It was just... Mr. Wright here, Hey, don't blame me. We're here to investigate a murder case. Murder? A body was found in the nasty bright red sports car in the parking lot. That would be my car. What of it? What? Your car? I'll say one thing, she certainly can scream. So, I'm gonna save Emma from just devouring her own leg at this point. So, the body was found in your car? Go ahead, say it right. You think I did it, don't you? After you went through all that trouble to help me last year, no less. No, we don't think you did it. I mean, it was my sister who stabbed him. Oh wait, no, she didn't do that. I mean... Wait, so you're the chief prosecutor's little sister then? Yes, sir, Emma Skye. It's nice to meet you again. Now that didn't sound forced at all. Ah, now I remember. You've really grown. I'll admit, it was a surprise to me too. To think that my own car would become the scene of a murder. More surprising still, now I'm forced to prove my superior's guilt. And understand. Wait, what'd you say? Lana Skye is the chief prosecutor, the top prosecutor in the district. She can't prosecute herself, so I'll be the prosecutor of the trial tomorrow. You? Mr. Edgeworth? To be honest, it's a bit of a miracle I'm still here at all. What do you mean? Rumors. You've heard the rumors about me, haven't you? Miles Edgeworth. It's hard to remember a time when there weren't rumors about this guy. Forging evidence, arranging false testimony, illegal searches, you name it. Thanks to you, my innocence was established in the trial at the end of last year. However, there are some who say I'm the one responsible for the current incident. What? That's crazy. Some people need very little excuse to think ill of others. It's a fact of life, impossible to stop. But some of them even go so far as to present me with toys like this. They think it's funny. Toys? That bronze shield? There's gotta be a story behind that one. Chief Prosecutor Skye. Yes, we worked together on a case 2 years ago. It was my first big case. That's right, I remember. 2 years ago. I wasn't even a lawyer yet. Since then, I've always felt that she was looking out for me. It appears I was mistaken. Mistaken? Why? I mean, I know she's not the warmest person, but I'm sure she felt some responsibility for you. Then, why? Why did she stab someone in the trunk of my car? Not only that, she stabbed him with my knife. What? Mr. Edgeworth, your knife was the murder weapon? To be specific, it was the knife kept in the toolbox in the trunk of my car. What did was Mr. Dead Guy, like, rifling through his car and, like, she grappled with him with the knife? I don't know. Edgeworth? What? Are you sure you didn't do it? Come on, can't he take a joke? Phoenix. Not the time, dude. You have a strange sense of humor, Mr. Wright. Hey, Edgeworth, did you know I'm an attorney? Say, Edgeworth, I was wondering about this. Mr. Wright! Huh? What? Are you sure you should be showing that to Mr. Edgeworth? Oh, he'll take it for sure, won't he? Oh, I wish I could be on the same side as Mr. Edgeworth. Wow. Then my sister would be found guilty. If she sighs any deeper, I'm gonna start getting depressed. It's against my policy, okay. Especially with you. He doesn't like you much, does he, Mr. Wright? I mean... Nah, with Edgeworth, it's never personal. It's all about winning tomorrow. Yeah, I mean, we know he likes Phoenix. To an extent, at least. I've been wondering, what the heck is this? It has a big K on it. The prosecutors. What's that? It's the King of Prosecutors trophy. King? King of Prosecutors? It's a great honor. They send that shield to the best prosecutor each year. So they sent it to you, the guy who was on trial, and who has lost his last several cases to Phoenix. What? What? So that K, that's... K stands for King? Yeah, you got a problem with that? I didn't design the thing. King of Prosecutors. Kind of like Employee of the Month, only better. Wow, this jacket is even lacier than his usual ones. This must be his lucky trial jacket. Lucky jacket? Right, I've never seen him wear it. I'm sure there's a story behind why it's in a frame. Maybe I'll be naughty and take a picture. She's getting way too excited about this. Work desk. It's quite tidy, as one might expect. What a nice desk. Easy to use and easy on the eyes. It's polished so well I can see my own reflection. Strange. Why did I just picture Detective Gumshoe? Maybe I'll take that name plaque as a souvenir. Emma! Don't. He'll sue you. Just stop stealing stuff! Whoa. These are all the case files. They're stacked up to the ceiling. There's even a ladder. Odd. I thought Edgeworth wasn't good with heights. When did we learn that? We know he has a problem with earthquakes. I didn't know anything about heights. He must have someone get them for him. Oh boy. Strange. I didn't just picture Detective Gumshoe again. He must study these case reports so closely. He's so cool. You wouldn't say that if you saw him sweating bullets up on that ladder. Chess? Or is that checkers? Hey, a chessboard! I'm not too up on my chess, but it looks like a blue's in a bit of a tight spot. Why is there blue and red? The red knights have surrounded the blue pawn. Huh? Those horses are mounted knights. Their swords have a really sharp edge. And check out that poor pawn. His head is kind of spiky. Kinda reminds me of you. Mr. Edgeworth must be an avid chess player. What's wrong, Mr. Wright? Edges. Surrounding a pawn with spiky hair. Nah, it's nothing. I think we're stumbling onto Edgeworth's own personal fan fiction, but it's coded in such a way as no one can detect it. And yeah, Gumshoe can't be dead. Like, they wouldn't kill him off just for this. My. What an amazing bouquet. Just right for Mr. Edgeworth. No kidding. Hey, there's a card on it. Back from the dead. Wendy. Wendy? I've heard that name somewhere before. And beside it, a giant steel samurai. Wow, I want one. Huh? There's something written on the bottom of his foot. Between a rock and a hard place. Wendy. Wendy? She Mr. Edgeworth's fiancée? Oh my god. I don't think so. Oh boy. Ooh, cute! What a pretty tea set! I go more for the instant tea bags myself. Amazing! The drawer below is filled with packets of tea leaves. They're all sorted by place of origin and flavor. Look at this royal blend. What an exquisitely splendid concoction. Such a thing as taking a hobby too far. Alright, I think that's everything in here. Emma is just looking for something to take. Hey, do you see this knife? Could you take a look at this? Ew. Yes? You said you wanted some hot tea, right? No, but thanks. You must have to brew the leaves a long time to get a rich flavor like this. We pre-infuse the leaves with steam before brewing. I knew it! So that's the secret to their aroma. Exquisite! The only thing I'm smelling here is a waste of time. Okay, she She probably doesn't care about that. Hey Lana, you're not here. Damn it. Here, see this? Notice that defense attorneys have a tendency to want to show people things. What is this? A behavioral study of lawyers? Okay, well she's probably not gonna care. Okay, so that's... And yeah, okay. There's something else I've got to find. Okay, so Lana's gone. So, in other words, you were the best of the best this year, huh? You can take that foolish grin elsewhere, right? I lost a day of work to receive that tragedy. Huh? Why's that? I had to go to the police department ceremony to receive that broken shield. The police department? Yes, right next to the police station downtown. You've been there, right? Where Detective Gumshoe works? Yeah. I was wondering about something... wondering something about your shield. Why is it broken? What does it matter? I've got more important details to worry about. More important things to worry about. Oh, right. Doesn't seem too concerned about his award, for better or for worse. Yesterday was a very busy day for the prosecutor's office. Maybe we should ask him more about yesterday. Could you tell me more about yesterday, the day of the murder? Yesterday was the annual cleaning day at the prosecutor's office. Cleaning day? Working with the police department, we sort and file all evidence for solved cases. We call it evidence transferal. Wiping your hands of old cases, in other words. Oh, and another thing. A ceremony was held at the police department. There was an annual review and awards for outstanding police officers and prosecutors. And that's when you got the shield? I was at the police department yesterday afternoon. I got back here at 5:12. That's very precise. People like myself and Mr. Edgeworth pride ourselves on our precision, Mr. Wright. No, I place little faith in my memory. The only thing I trust is solid evidence. That's why witnesses aren't really seen as credible evidence. This is the parking stub from the underground lot. The murder took place around 5:15. So the murder happened right after you got back. What, right? I'd appreciate it if you would direct that suspicious glare elsewhere. Who are you? Excuse me, is Mr. Edgeworth, anywhere on the premises? I'm Edgeworth. What is it? I'm here, sir, at the request of the chief, sir. I've got your report, sir. Report? What? Did you find new evidence in the case against Chief Prosecutor Skye? I don't like the way this conversation is going at all. Skye, sir? No, sir. No name of that kind, sir. Not in this report, sir. I think I just heard Edgeworth's lid blow. Mr. Edgeworth's lid isn't on very tight, is it? I made a clear request to the police department, did I not? I need to focus on the trial tomorrow, so don't bring me anything unrelated. Sir, but sir! I'm just following your orders, sir. They told me to bring this to you. I wasn't aware of the particulars of your arrangement. Give me your name. Yes, sir. Meekins, sir. Officer Meekins. Right. Officer Meekins, take your report and leave. And good luck with that raise next month. Oh. But sir, I didn't know. Poor guy. Looks like he was absent on the day they gave out brains and good luck. Right? Yes, sir. Oh, he caught me off guard. As you can see, I'm busy. You may leave now. Let's see what he says, Mr. Wright. The victim was a detective from the same department as that patrolman just now. Go down to the police department. You can ask more there. Thanks. Seems to have finally calmed down at least. Given that the totality of our experience with the police department involves Gumshoe and Meekins, I'm gonna say probably not. I guess we have interacted with the chief a little bit, but he's not a character. Oh god, they actually made it a thing. Phew, we're finally here. Why would they put the detective so far from the prosecutor's office? That took almost 30 minutes by taxi, and traffic wasn't even that bad. This is my first time to the police department, actually. Huh? Hold on, what's that? Oh god. It's Japan's weird obsession with mascots. Disturbing. Why does it undulate like that? Wait, I know. This is the Blue Badger. They're trying to make him the police mascot. Wow, Mr. Wright, you know a lot about the police department. Still, he does seem familiar somehow. Forget the Blue Badger. Who's that next to him? Someone appears to be dancing with the Blue Badger? Uh-oh, he noticed me. He sure is running over here fast. Hey, pal! What are you doing here? It's my line, Detective Gumshoe. Specifically, why were you dancing over there? What? Well, at least he doesn't seem to be busy. This is our chance to get information. Hey, I'll have you know that I'm a very busy man, pal. I'll give you one word of advice, pal. You better not agree to defend the suspect in this case. Why not? Huh? Well, it's just that the chief prosecutor's confessed to the crime. She says she summoned the detectives to the prosecutor's office, and she killed him. But what if she's not telling the truth? Yes, well, no. Come on, pal. There's plenty of evidence against her. But what if the evidence was faked? Hey, pal, can I speak to you for a second? Huh? Me? Why is this little girl so peeved at me? She's a relative of the suspect, Lana Sky's sister. Whoa, the chief prosecutor's little sister? Please, just investigate this case carefully, okay? Scientifically. Yes, sir. Oh, by the way, you might want to keep your voices down. You don't want to be overheard using words like faked. Huh? It's a sensitive issue with us these days. Why for? What, because the whole Von Karma thing? So, what are you doing here, Detective Gumshoe? Oh, me? Oh, well, nothing really. They kicked me out of criminal affairs. Detective Gumshoe, what'd you do this time? What do you mean this time? Then, what happened? I know things are busy right now. I mean, with my sister's case and all. It's true. We've never had a chief prosecutor murder anyone before. Only the highest-ranked people are being led into the criminal's affairs now. The lowest-ranking guy in there is our chief of detectives. They're not letting any of us rank-and-file detectives in at all. None of you? I know this is an important trial, but isn't that a little odd? So anyway, I thought I'd spend the day getting the Badger Dance down pat. Isn't there anything else you could be doing? The Chief of Police himself is directing this investigation, pal. An Officer Marshall was assigned to the underground parking lot. Officer Marshall? Now that I think about it, Emma did seem to know that Marshall guy. A patrolman in charge of a crime scene. It's unheard of, pal. Wait, he's a patrolman? He patrols as a cowboy. Detective Gumshoe, what can you tell me about this? Huh? Hey pal, this is a detective's ID card. You can't just keep that. You have to turn it over to the police. It's people like you that get me into so much trouble all the time. Meaning Detective Gumshoe must drop his card a lot. Let's see. Bruce Goodman. Goodman? Sounds familiar. Now my mistake. But don't you work together with him in criminal affairs? Whoa! Now I remember! Bruce Goodman. He's the victim! That's what I thought. Can you tell us more, Detective Gumshoe? Found in Mr. Edgeworth's car, stabbed with Mr. Edgeworth's knife, huh? What would drive Chief Prosecutor Sky to do such a thing? Wait, I didn't mean... I mean, sure, of course someone else really did it. Someone who must have a grudge against Mr. Edgeworth. The car and the knife do seem a little too well organized to be a coincidence. Poor Mr. Edgeworth. What could have happened? We have to find out a little more about what's going on with Edgeworth. Did you see this trophy he got? Hey, that's it! That's the King of Prosecutors Award that Mr. Edgeworth got yesterday. Were you at the award ceremony, Detective Gumshoe? Of course, pal. I got an award for diligence myself. Ah, congratulations. I was wondering, why is the award shield? And why is it broken? Oh, there's a reason. I'll tell you what it is later. Apparently he's forgotten. But I was proud of Mr. Edgeworth for winning that award. He's even got naysayers in the prosecutor's office. Yeah, we've heard the rumors. Found a Mr. Oh, he's just gonna say the same thing? Okay. It did bring up both pieces of evidence, but I wasn't sure. Okay, make sure I don't have anything else. Oh, we do. Got two whole things. So, this ID card belonged to the victim. He was a detective, like myself. Detective Bruce Goodman. Don't you think it's strange? I mean, why would the victim's ID card be lying on the ground where we found it? Well, Detective Gumshoe should have been at the police department yesterday. There was an evidence transfer for a case he handled 2 years ago. Evidence transfer? Mr. Edgeworth mentioned that too. But Detective Goodman was killed at the prosecutor's office. Well, that's the thing. It's hard to say this, but word is that Chief Prosecutor Sky called him out there, to the parking lot. And Lon is confessing as much. He's in a tough spot again. Again? Well, it all started with the murder of that defense attorney, Hammond. But Edgeworth was found innocent. Listen, pal, there have always been rumors about Edgeworth. Forging evidence, making deals with witnesses. Nothing outright, but there were always whispered rumors. Ever since he was accused of murder, no one's whispering. They're practically shouting. But there's no evidence against him. Well, Mr. Edgeworth has always had unusually strong ties with the department higher-ups. It's only natural that people would be suspicious. And I had no idea who was under the gun. Anyway, this latest case has started a new rumor. People say the only reason he took this case is because he's aiming for the chief prosecutor position himself. What? But I know the truth, pal. Nobody wants to be the one who has to prosecute the chief prosecutor. Mr. Edgeworth is biting the bullet on this one. He's doing this for all of us. You seem pretty sure about that. See if there's anything behind him. Look, that patrolman is saluting the other guy. He must be a detective. And then I said, "Hey, you do that, your soup will get cold, buddy." "That's hilarious, sir. I laughed so hard I cried." Guess he wasn't saluting, he was wiping tears from his eyes. Make a good pair. Banner here is announcing the crime-fighting campaign. Nice slogan. I wonder if they'll be selling fingerprinting sets. I don't think it's that kind of campaign. What family wouldn't want a set at home? It's good for finding out who snuck into the cookie jar. I think most families can figure that out without the extra help. I was wondering about that. Oh, what? The Dance of Blue Badger? It's my masterpiece. You made this, Detective Gumshoe? Oh, the chief threw together some designs and I just did my thing, pal. Nice work. It's battery powered, so it can go anywhere. There's no switch, so it just dances, dances until the batteries die. Poor Blue Badger, fated to dance until he drops. Wait, that's evidence? That's all I know about that. I'm not officially on the case, you know. Thank you. Why aren't you handling the case, Detective Gumshoe? We met the guy who is. What was his name? The guy in the parking lot? Oh, that'd be Officer Marshall. He was appointed directly by the Chief of Police. Officer Marshall. Is he some kind of Wild West sheriff or something? Oh no, Jake Marshall's just a regular officer. From West LA. For a moment there, I wasn't sure. Oh, look, pal, let me try to make things a little easier for you. Show them this, and they'll let you examine the crime scene. Maybe. I'll be surprised if this gets us anywhere. I'll just act like you're supposed to be there, and nobody will look at you twice, pal. I should probably actually, do the thing that I was told to do, by Emma. Name and ID number are written on here. Victor Bruce Goodman. Yeah. I wonder why they only use numbers for IDs. What else would they use? Letters, silly. They're the reason we have a written language in the first place. True. Detective Bruce Goodman. ID Yabba Dab. Hey, wouldn't that be better? Yabba Dab. Well, it does have a certain ring to it. Exactly my point. Doesn't take much to amuse her. Doesn't seem to be anything there. What does it say on the back? Okay, apparently nothing. It's words, but they aren't highlighting. This must be the victim's blood, right? Either that, or Edgeworth cut himself peeling an apple. What's Edgeworth doing with a knife like this anyway? Hey, maybe he spends his weekends roughing it in the wild. Edgeworth? In the wild? I think my fruit peeling theory is more likely. Are you kidding? I always pictured him as an outdoorsman. Why? There's a scary thought. Oh yeah, rugged Edgeworth, you know, that bastion of outdoorsmanship with his very fancy suits. What's it say on the bottom? Hey, check it out. There's a metal plate here. It looks like the names of all the previous recipients are engraved on it. Wow. One guy's listed a bunch of times. Von Karma. I guess he must be a foreigner. Yeah, that's probably it. Well, wherever he's from, he must have been an amazing prosecutor. I'd like to meet this Mr. Von Karma sometime. No. No, you don't. When she says it, his name does kind of have a kind of ring to it. Emma, he was literally found to be the murderer in that last case with Edgeworth. You don't want to meet him. Miles Edgeworth, 1712. This is dated the day of the crime. The murder took place 3 minutes after Edgeworth parked his car. If only he was held up at a couple of extra red lights, he wouldn't have been caught up in this whole affair. Perhaps. It just goes to show you never know what'll happen when you run a yellow light. This 3D evidence is funky. I don't know why this is a thing. I'm sure this will come up and be very important, but still. Hey, look here. It looks like something's been erased. Maybe it was a letter maybe it was a letter or something to Detective Gumshoe. Let's see. Annual bonus $20. I think a couple zeros are missing. No, that sounds about right. At least in that detective's case. Maybe I should rethink my career as an investigator. Okay, it doesn't seem to be anything else. Looks like the investigation is still going. I have to be getting back to the shop. Sorry, looks like I'll be stuck in this pit till the sun sleeps. I'll see you in my dreams then, baby. Oh my god, is she dating Mr. Cowboy? Oh, still here? Hello. Why the surprised looks? Didn't I mention? I've got a boyfriend in criminal affairs too. What happened to the security guard? Lady? Hey, what's wrong, Bambina? You're looking like a doggy that's lost its herd. Jake Marshall. Strange guy to put in charge of a crime scene. Seems very full of himself. There's something I wanted to ask you. The scene of the crime. Cold grave for men who lost their dreams. And me? I watch over them as they sleep, dreaming of the desert's harsh judgment. He's asleep. Well, should we show this hopeless case something to catch his interest? There's something I wanted to ask you. Oh, he's just gonna fall back asleep. Okay, well, jerk. Would you mind reading this for me? What's this? I warn you, fan letters to me go right in the spittoon. It's a letter of introduction from Detective Gumshoe. May we investigate? Gumshoe? Oh, that old cowdog? He's holding a birthday party or something. Huh? Look, where it should say letter of introduction, it says invitation. Ah, I think he just miswrote it. Great. Detective Gumshoe, I owe you one. Ah, no worries. This proves it's from Detective Gumshoe better than a blood test. I guess I'd better let you in then. Thank you, Mr. Officer Marshall. Officer Marshall isn't a detective, he's a patrolman. That reminds me of something. That is odd. Isn't a crime scene supposed to be handled by a detective or higher? Well, folks, the clues are calling. Welcome to our gold strike. Be like the settler. Strike out for lands unknown. Manifest destiny. Let's have a hootenanny. Dude, those are some seriously heavy terms you know nothing about. Note to self, police investigations are like settling land. It's like stealing property from other people, and just not acknowledging their own rights. Well, Mr. Wright, what do you say? I say I won't be needing this anymore. Crumpled and discarded. Oh. Alright, let's have a look. This rope, is it? Yep, they laid it in the outline of the victim's body. Why did they use rope? So wait, the victim must have died when the killer closed the trunk on him. You've got to be the only person I know that would come to that conclusion. This appears to be the car where the body was found. It looks like the lock on the trunk is busted. Yeah, I'm wondering if that detective guy was trying to break into the car for some reason. Crime took place in the underground parking lot at the prosecutor's office. The body was found in the trunk of my subordinate's car. Quite a luxury car. It just screams I have money to burn. Yeah, prosecutors get the big bucks. I mean, you're a defense attorney. You should be getting the big bucks too. This appears to be where the car where the body was found. Oh wait, I just did that. I thought I was on the blue car in the back. It's like, oh cool, it's one of those car elevators. I've always wanted to try one of them, like just to see, but I live nowhere near any of them. B block is through there. That's where the visitors park. I can see the Lunchland car over there, far in the distance. Hey, you're right. I like the cute design on the door. I can see a Cartoon cow munching down on a juicy-looking steak. Doesn't that strike you as a little creepy? Just don't think about it too deeply and you'll be fine. What's that? This looks like a cell phone. An actual flip phone, too. Scientific analysis would suggest this belonged to the victim. I can't think of anyone else it could belong to. What's so scientific about that? Check it out. Right, let's check it out. Oh, it's pressing the buttons for me. Hate it when it does that. Ding. That pixel. Man, what a boring strap. What's wrong with it? Everyone has different tastes, you know? Here, check out mine. It's a pink princess strap. These are hard to come by, you know? See, he's as popular as ever with the kids. I don't see anything. Anything on the back? The display is still on the redial button. Redial? Mr. Wright? Most phones keep a record of all the calls you've made and received. If you press the blue button to dial the last number you called, convenient, isn't it? I'm surprised you didn't know about it. Sorry to disappoint you, but even I know things about, like, redial. Huh? Oh, I'm sorry. It's just, you never know with people from your generation. It's a fair cop. Though technically, like, you know, it's apparently 2017, and you know, flip phones are still a thing, so I think it's reasonable to expect Phoenix to know how they work now. Whatever, let's just check this phone out. Like, I mean, hell, even my grandparents know how to work phones. Not very well, but they know the basics. Now, I wonder who the owner of this phone called last. Note to self, a defense attorney doesn't think first, he just pushes the button. Emma, please. Hey, that song! I know that! Hey, what's going on over there? Oh, sorry. I see you, partner. You pressed redial on that there phone, didn't you? Well, yeah. Whose phone is this anyway? It was on the ground over there. Whose phone is it? That belongs to the chief prosecutor, Scott. Or prospector, right? What? It's my sister's? She apparently dropped it when she was taken into custody, right after the crime. Look, the last call was made right when the murder occurred. It looks like she was fixing to call someone. Except she only spoke for a few seconds, according to this. Who'd she call? No idea. Sorry, partner. Now, I got a question for you, partner. I heard a phone ring just now. One of those newfangled ringtones. Oh, that? Oh, I'm sorry, that was my phone. What? Your phone? Yeah, it's kind of strange, but someone called me right as we picked up the other phone. A wrong number. Phoenix? I hope you're not lying. They shoot you for that in Texas, partner. Uh-oh. I've incited the wrath of the Lone Star Patrolman. Phoenix? I swear to God, you better know, like, what that phone call meant. An oil drum. Looks like it's filled with water. It's heavy. I can't even budge it. Drum over here is on the side. Wait, I know. I'll hide in here and do a stakeout. I think you'll probably just get arrested. In fact, you may not even have to hide in the drum to get arrested. What? I'm not suspicious. A block. This area is reserved for prosecutors. Defense attorneys are relegated to B block. I dream of the day when I'll be able to park my car here. I'll go over to B block to buy my burgers from you, Mr. Wright. I'm not planning on giving up my job that soon. She does not respect us in the slightest. Here, a phone. Let's see if it works. Hey, don't touch stuff we don't need to be touching. Phoenix, you just touched the freaking phone on the ground. Can't hear anything. My ears! No, my ears! Maybe it's due to the barometric pressure. What is she babbling about? Hey, what'd you just say? See, you can hear just fine. The phone's broken. There's a vent up there. Nope. No clues here. This wall is in our way. It's got a faucet for water. Wait, I know! This wall is merely a facade, here hiding the truth. This is no wall, but a water tank! I don't see how that makes any difference either way. Also, no, it's not a tank. The tank is below in the ground. Hell, it's just probably on another floor, just sitting up. Can't do anything with the computer. What's a ladder? Aha! A ladder! That's a step ladder. What's the difference? In scientific terms, please? Scientific, huh? Look at the basic nature of things, Mr. Wright. This all seems to be so horribly familiar somehow. I get it. I remember. Look, a door. Well, we looked at the door already. And I'm pretty sure we looked at the exit? Yeah. Okay, is there anything else? That's probably the... Looked at the security room, security cafe, and that's when lady make lunch person Angel showed up. Okay. Yeah, the rope. Okay, I think I've found everything I need to at this place. Oh, I can talk to him. Officer Marshall, could you tell us more about the victim? Good men always die young. Remember that, partner. Could you be a little more specific? Bruce Goodman. He was a detective, right? Well, well, aren't you a feisty dogger there now? Detective Goodman was stabbed here at 5:15. The smiling Madonna told me the tale. I think he means the witness, Miss Angel Starr. One stab to the chest, a fine piece of work. And this here's the autopsy report. Hey, you got an autopsy. Was my sister involved with the victim in any way? Funny you should mention that, Bambina. Chief Prospector Sky and Detective Goodman had nothing in common at all. Nothing in common? They apparently worked together on a case a few years back. So, there's no motive. Goodman wasn't a particularly gifted detective. That's one reason why he didn't do much work with the Chief Prospector. But my sister called the victim here on the day of the murder, right? Here, to this parking lot? So it seems. Like calling an unarmed man to a shootout on a high noon. It's high noon. I don't mean any offense, but Officer Marshall, you're a patrolman, right? Not a detective? You calling me out, they shoot you for that in Texas. Huh? I was one of them fancy shoot detectives till 2 years ago, to tell the truth. Oh, really? Now he tells me. But you're a patrolman now. How can you be in charge of a crime scene? Nothing gets by you, does it, Bambina? So, why are you in charge? I don't know, reason. We're just short on hands right now. I'm keeping an eye out in the meantime. That's odd, though. Detective Gumshoe was saying he had nothing to do. Nothing important, at least. He's nothing but a sour old cat dog that can't find his tail. Maybe it's because he runs without Edgeworth, eh? Edgeworth? That cow dog's been kicked out of this cattle run by order of the chief of police. Just, he don't realize it yet. Detective Gumshoe kicked out of the investigation? Did he get close to some good information? So there's no connection between Detective Goodman and my sister? That's correct, but there's always a gold amount of evidence against her. And the prospector tomorrow is none other than Edgeworth himself. I'm afraid your sister's fate is decided, Bambina. Many condolences. Officer Marshall! Yeah, Bambina? How can you say that? You and my sister, you were... Is there something between this cop and her sister that I don't know about? I apologize, Bambina. Something must have gotten to me. Maybe it's that dry wind that's a-blowing through the prospector's office. Dry wind or ill will. Something's up to something here. But who? Tell me about this dry wind. Suspicions about Mr. Edgeworth have been flying around for nearly 2 years now. Forged evidence, arranging testimonies, you name it. You keep repeating that line. I get it. He was unbeatable because he did whatever it took to win. Unbeatable, that is, until he met you. But rumors are just rumors, aren't they? These are prosecutors we're talking about. Evidence is everything to them. If you follow the rumors about Edgeworth to their source, you find one person. But they're off limits. Untouchable, you might say. One person? Who? Bambina? It's your sister. Chief Prospector Lana Skye. What? My sister? Edgeworth couldn't rustle all those cattle by himself. Some people load their guns with bullets, some people load them with deals. What? You're saying Edgeworth was making deals to win trials? Where there's gunshots, there's bound to be bullets. That's what the old-timers say. There's a big old secret hidden around here somewhere. Everyone knows it. Is that why Detective Gumshoe was taken off the case? Did they target him because he was closest to Edgeworth? I know everything's really dramatic right now, but what can you tell me about the panel? Alright, compadre, count to 3. What? You gotta do that if you're gonna draw evidence on someone. That's what we do in Texas. Remind me never to visit Texas. Hey, good advice, Phoenix. Hey. Me. Name of deceased, Bruce Goodman, 36. Between 4 p.m. and 5:30. Everyone's saying 5:15 exactly, but the autopsy's not so specific. Cause of death, loss of blood from chest wound. Wound was caused by a 12-centimeter knife. A single stab wound was found. Now, I'm looking at this knife, and so the thing that bugs me about it is the blood stain. Because, if it was really a stab wound, why is there so little blood on it? And, only on the edge, on the very tip. I can see if I can get a better angle on it, but, there's none on the very, the very end of the knife. Like, it's all on the edge at the top, right here. So, I'm pretty sure this is not the murder weapon. Okay, let's see if I can present him anything now. Okay, I couldn't present that. Okay, he's not gonna tell me anything about that. My sister's cell phone. The last time it was used was 5:18, right after Goodman was killed. Maybe she was canceling her date for the night. Why did Lana make the call? And why was she calling Phoenix? Alright, compadre. Okay, yeah, we already did this one. 5:12 p.m. The prospector's bright red steed came in at a trot, real slow-like. A trot? My Madonna tells me the crime occurred 3 minutes later. So it seems that Chief Prospector was lying in wait. Maybe waiting for her prince to ride in on his bright red horse. So what you mean is, the killer intended to use Edgeworth's car all along. What, did they know he would be coming back this soon? Ah, a toy shield. Suits the boy well. What exactly could you shield with that? A toy knight, maybe? Officer Marshall, don't you have anything good to say about Mr. Edgeworth? You don't like him, right? We get the point. When I was a detective, I got one of those. Let me guess. Did it have a K for King of Detectives on it? Hey, they could use the same shield over and over. Note to self, the prosecutor's office and criminal affairs are surprisingly cheap. You know it. They've gotten cheaper with every passing year, I tell you. Well, now we know it's a fantasy game. Alright, so he doesn't have anything to say about the knife. What's that? Some sort of police passport? This is Detective Goodman's ID card, strangely enough. We found it a good distance away from the crime scene. Good distance? In this rat hole? If you want distance, get yourself to Texas. Dude. Texas? This is a tiny little crime scene in a tiny little town with tiny little evidence. What difference does a few yards make, compadre? Note to self, if you encounter suspicious evidence, think of Texas. There's no better way to study than hang out with the pros. Emma, please, don't take his advice. Okay, I've talked to him about everything, I've shown him everything. Let's talk to Edgeworth, see if I have anything. Oh, he's gone. Okay. Lana, you back? Well, no, we're in LA. Okay, I've talked to her about everything. Let me see if Gumshoe has anything. I probably need to talk to Emma. And he's got nothing to say about that. No, I wouldn't want you to do that either. Good. Okay, he's nothing. And I've talked to him about everything else. Okay, so I'm gonna talk to Emma and talk to her about that phone. Okay, so she doesn't have anything to say about it. But what if we check it here? We can check the redial. There's no need to push this again. Phoenix! What's wrong? You look like I do during finals. Never mind, it's nothing. Phoenix! Check your phone! Like, hit the button, for Christ's sake. Okay, did I present this to her? Pretty sure I did. Okay, yeah. What am I missing? I've shown him everything. He doesn't have any more subjects to talk about. I'm sure there must be something left in the parking lot that I didn't examine. Usual wanted posters are hanging up on the bulletin board here. Do you know this face? If you do, dial 911. Which, in Japan, it's 119. I know this. You know, Mr. Wright, I've always thought it was kind of funny. I've never seen anyone who looked like the people in these posters. They hardly even look human. She has a point. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've examined everything. Detention center. No? Okay. Where's the shot? Alright, so... Okay, we got the drums, we got the wall, we got the phone, though that doesn't work. We got the door that leads nowhere since it's locked. The stepladder, don't know why we have a stepladder. Section A. We've looked at the car. Yeah. B-block is through there, yada yada. Apparently was where Miss Angel Star is parked. Okay, so the entire chain link fence counts as B-block. I kinda wish it would, like, throw up a little thing telling you what you're hovering over besides just examine, so you can know if what you're looking at is something different. Wait, what? What's this? Looks like a note of some sort? Where was that? Look, something's written on it. 675, 12-2. You're right. Let's see, 67S? 12-2? There's a name print on the paper above that. Goodman. Maybe it fell out of his pocket when he was killed. Well, so, what does that mean, Mr. Wright? How am I supposed to know? Note to self, for deductive reasoning, go to Edgeworth, not Wright. So I'm sure Edgeworth wouldn't know what this means either. Okay, so we got a note. So, well, how are we doing, Mr. Wright? Guess we got some clues. We have an autopsy report, a note from the victim, and a cell phone. So, you think we'll be okay? Well, the only thing still bothering me is that Lana is confessing to the crime. She says she did it. No problem. I can guarantee that she's not the criminal. Oh, by the way, Emma? Yes? I know that song your phone plays when it rings. What? That's the Pink Princess theme, isn't it? I've heard that before. Oh, that's the Steel Samurai song. Right. And I knew I'd heard before. That popular TV show for kids? That phone that just rang wasn't mine. It was yours. At 5:18, just after the murder took place, your sister called you, didn't she, Emma? I'm sorry. Can you tell me what you talked about? She hung up right away. See. Okay. Okay, so Phoenix was telling the truth, or was lying that it wasn't his phone, or was his phone. Whatever. The detective is murdered, and the suspect is the top prosecutor in the district. Got a bad feeling about this. Like, maybe I still don't know everything that went on here. Now, is this going to be another 3-day trial, or... Because I don't think it'll be over right away, but still. How did the investigation go today, Mr. Wright? Frankly, there are still a lot of gray areas. Rather, the whole thing is one big gray area. Don't worry about me. No matter what the outcome, I'm ready to accept my fate. I believe in you, sis. Mr. Wright, let me offer you a word of advice. Yes? A defense attorney should never believe their client. The defendant is called to trial because they are suspected of wrongdoing. Never forget that. This guy, you remind me a lot of Mia. There's one decisive difference between you and her, and that is, you're not a defense attorney. I believe it's almost time for the trial. Good luck, Mr. Wright. It's an impressive scarf, too. My first trial without a Fae helping me. No one's gonna be able to bail me out this time. I'll be alone in there. So I have to discover the truth all by myself. Phoenix, like, Mia is always hanging out with you. Like, she has never left you. Let's do it, Mr. Wright. I'll be with you the whole way. Fantastic. The court is now in session for the trial of Miss Lana Skye. The defense is ready, Your Honor. The prosecution has been ready for a while, Your Honor. Edgeworth. I haven't been in court since Edgeworth's trial. It's been a while now. About 3 or 4 months. Hope that personal feelings will not be a person. Oh wait, it's been 2 months. It's February. And that was in December, right. I hope that personal feelings will not be a part of the proceedings today, Mr. Wright. I will choose the path I think is right, regardless of what those around me might say. The judgment to be made here is in our hands, not those of anyone else. Very well, Mr. Edgeworth. Your opening statement, please. Chief Prosecutor Lana Skye has committed an unpardonable crime. Not only this, but she was rash enough to commit it in a prosecutor's office lot. Wow, he's much more forceful in person. I suddenly feel like confessing to everything. However, she will now pay for her rashness with her life. There was a witness to her crime. A professional witness. Well then, call your first witness, Mr. Edgeworth. The prosecution calls its first witness, Miss Angel Starr, to the stand. Cough up queen? She sounds like a prosecutor herself. Haven't I seen you somewhere? You ordered the caviar lunch, right? Oh, caviar. I've never eaten caviar before. I do not believe that at all. The judge is really wolfing it down. And for you, I have a Fiesta Bowl. Thanks. Dude, she's just handing out lunch? Fuck yeah. I don't care how weird it is, like, I would absolutely eat that shit. Will the witness state her name and profession? And you, sir? Did you order the fingerprint lunchbox? That's just rice with some pepper on it. It is too early for lunch. Your name and profession, please. Well, Your Honor, how does it taste? So this is why everyone raves about caviar. It's so tasty it hurts. Okay, no. Caviar is not that tasty. Like, I would eat that shit, but it is not that tasty. I always thought caviar would taste like pickled tapioca. Why would you think that? The heck does pickled tapioca taste like? Name, profession, now. Me? The name is Angel Starr. Don't go forgetting it. I find myself running Lunchland these days. Is that what you wanted me to say, Mr. Edgeworth? Very well, witness. Please describe the incident to us. Prosecution will wait. I'm not finished eating. Hurry up! Very well, Mr. Edgeworth. As you know, we usually call on the police to just provide a description of the crime. Your Honor, as Mr. Edgeworth has said to the court, I am a professional. What exactly does that mean? Until 2 years ago, Miss Angel Starr was a special investigator with the police. Okay. She was a first-rate homicide detective. What? Miss Starr was a detective? I mean, you kind of suss out that she was related to it in some way. Ah! I know who you are. Cough up. Cough up Queen, Angel Starr, Your Honor. Long time no see. Very well. You may continue with the description, Miss Starr. Just who is this lady? If I might have the court's attention over here. The parking lot of the prosecutor's office is divided into 2 blocks. A block is for the prosecutor's office personnel. B block is for visitors and clients. A chain divider separates the 2 blocks. I suppose that's to keep visitors from taking up the prosecutor's space, yes. The crime took place by the car in the back of A block, in the car's trunk. The killer stabbed the victim with a knife and went to drive the body out. Unfortunately for her, there was a witness, and an arrest was made on the spot. And who was the valiant witness? Why, it was me, Your Honor. Floor plans. Witness, did you see the very moment of the crime? Of course, Your Honor. Immediately after that, I apprehended the chief of police, the chief prosecutor. She apprehended the chief of police right there. It seems rather cut and dry, doesn't it? Well, Mr. Wright? I can't agree on principle, Your Honor. It seems that some poor losers are unwilling to accept the truth, Your Honor. Shall I proceed to crush what little hope they have remaining? Oh my. If you can, then give them your worst, Miss Starr. Dude! Whose side are you on? Wait, are they talking about me? Wait, who's cross-examining who here? Somehow, I always knew a day like this would come. I was on my way to deliver a lunchbox to my boyfriend, when I sensed something. Perhaps it was my finely honed detective instincts working. Then, through a wire fence, I saw the chief prosecutor standing next to a garish car. The chief prosecutor was holding a knife in her right hand. Then she thrust the pointy tip of the knife into Detective Goodman's chest. In her right hand? No. She cut her right hand, so she would have been holding it in her left. Bringing a lunchbox to your boyfriend. How touching. As you can see, there is no room for doubt. The key point of your testimony seems to be nothing other than the point of the knife, which you saw being stabbed at Detective Goodman. So, how does it feel to be so utterly crushed? I'm still thinking about that. It's merely a flesh wound, Mr. Wright. Very well, Mr. Wright. You may cross-examine the witness. Yeah, I mean, that wasn't too crushing. I was able to find a contradiction, at least. Alright, start pressing. How did you know? I respect the prosecutor's basic abhorrence to crime. Yet their methods are ugly and twisted. Twisted methods will always lead to tragedy. The lunch lady's uninformed opinion is duly noted, given that they are used to erasing inconvenient evidence at their whim. Killing off a detective that knew too much is merely an extension of that. Star, do you have something personal against prosecutors? I felt that I had found my dream job when I became an investigator, and if I hadn't been laid off by those prosecutors over there, I'd still be one. Laid off? She was fired? To me, prosecutors are nothing more than worms. That said, I am a pro, as you know. My testimony is unbiased and flawless. Very well, you may continue, Miss Starr. Oh, unbiased. Which boyfriend is that? The security guard or the detective? This boyfriend, he's the detective? Not that boyfriend, the security guard. That boyfriend? You have several? Yes. This boyfriend, that boyfriend, and the other boyfriend. Care to join? The yet another boyfriend position is still open for applicants. I'll stick with the lunch, thanks. Note to self, the judge had to think before replying. The security guard room is in the lot, in A block. It's up on the second level, so you can see everything from there. That would be the room with a security sign. You see everything, but you can't see directly below you. Incidentally, did you bring your lunchboxes by car? Since I'm a visitor now, I parked in B block. So, she was in B block when she witnessed the crime. When I sensed something, perhaps it was my finally... You sensed something? So you're saying you had a premonition of the murder? It felt like... how would you say? Oh yes. It was like the feeling you get when you view a pumpkin chock full of seeds. I have no idea what that means. Speaking of a detective's instincts, wasn't the victim Mr. Bruce Goodman also a detective? Yes, well, he was like a young cheese. A young cheese? A pale white cheese, not yet tangy with experience on the streets. A greenhorn. I, of course, am hard, yellowed, sharp as a tack. Bet you stink, too. Well, no, if he's sharp, then he doesn't stink. In any case, there in the lot, I felt something stirring in the back of my mind. Through the wire fence. By garish car, you mean... Mr. Edgeworth's car, yes. Mr. Edgeworth's? Incidentally, the knife with which the victim was stabbed is also Mr. Edgeworth's, wasn't it? Indeed it was. What an odd case this is. And the person you saw, you are sure it was the defendant? I saw her from no further than 30 feet away. I am certain it was her. If she's telling the truth, we're doomed. Let's just do what we can. Even if we don't have any proof, we can always complain. Witness, in your testimony you clearly stated the following. Prosecutors are nothing more than worms. Ergo, you are a biased witness. You might want to keep those silly opinions to yourself in the future, Rookie. Huh? Rookie? Unless you're willing to risk the consequences of doubting me. I'll fry you like a fritter. Crispy on the outside, chewy on the inside. That was inspiring. I believe I've heard that tagline elsewhere. You could cry plagiarism. I may be relegated to the lowly post of lunch lady, but my instincts are honed. A photograph? You took this? The moment I witnessed the crime, my reflexes took over and snap. I took a photo. In fact, one of my lunchboxes is rigged with a camera. I suppose that's more exciting than just hanging around your neck. This is my first time seeing this photograph. You think I'd show it to you? A prosecutor? Think again. My boyfriend works in the photography division of criminal affairs. Well, this is most certainly the defendant. Yeah, but there's no body there. That is unmistakably Lana Sky. So, what was the defendant doing at the time? But there's no body in that shot. Right hand. Right hand. Tell me more about this knife that the suspect was carrying. Well, I'd say the blade was about 10 centimeters long. Is that right, Mr. Edgeworth? It is your knife, after all. Yes, that's about right. Wait. Wound was caused by a 12-centimeter knife. Aha! Aha! I just gotta find where to go for that. Prosecutors are, by nature, well versed in the location of a man's vital organs. I'm sure it was easier than boiling an egg for my egg salad surprise set. You can't testify as to her ability to kill an egg. I mean, a person. Perhaps a chicken salad set would have been a better metaphor. So the defendant was holding a knife. What then? Then she thrust the pointy tip of the knife in Detective Guzman's chest. Tell the court why you didn't try to stop this crime. You did see her raise the knife to strike, no? The defense has a point. Unfortunately, by the time I realized what was going on, it was already too late. Too late? Yes. The next moment, the chief prosecutor brought down the murder weapon. I see. It's only a flesh wound, Mr. Wright. We can make it. You said that before. Anything else? Scientifically speaking, Miss Starr's testimony is flawless. Sounds pretty fatal to me. What do we do? Is this it? My sister guilty? Let's just keep our heads cool and press the witness a bit, shall we? For some reason having her panicking next to me makes me calmer. Don't smile like that. Okay. So Edgeworth's knife is apparently about 10 centimeters long. The blood also doesn't match, but the sizes are wrong. We can prove that with the autopsy report. I need to find which thing to press on, or to present for. And I sensed something, perhaps it was my finely honed detective instincts. Through a wire fence, I saw the chief prosecutor standing next to a garish car. Yeah, that new photo, Yeah, there's nobody else in the shot. So, the chief prosecutor was holding a knife in her right hand. Then she thrust the pointy tip of the knife in Detective Goodman's chest. Okay, so there was no one else in that shot. Okay, that was wrong. Yeah, okay, yeah, whatever. Then through a wire fence, I saw the chief prosecutor standing next to a garish car. The chief prosecutor was holding a knife in her right hand. I do think that the photo might be what I need to press right now. Is there's no knife in her hand in this photo that we can see. There's also no one there, but she says that crime photo was taken after the stabbing. She thrust a pointing knife at the tip of the knife. Okay, whoops. Okay. So, pointing tip of the knife. I'm gonna try pressing the knife on that statement. Nope, that wasn't it. Okay, just... Yeah, I'm just hurrying through it. Just keep standing next to a garish car. Okay, let's... Okay, it was my second idea. And you witnessed this? You saw Miss Sky stab the victim with the knife. As I've already said, yes. I swear it on my finest salmon swirl lunch. I'm sure that is a fine lunch. I mean, yeah, that sounds actually really good. But isn't that odd? Look at this photograph. This is the photograph you took at the very moment of the crime, is it not? Then why is Miss Sky not holding a knife? Mr. Edgeworth, your thoughts? Objection. Let's be a little more careful with our evidence, shall we? It is you that needs to be more careful, Mr. Wright. What do you mean? What do you mean, Edgeworth? This photograph was not taken the moment before the stabbing. This was taken the moment after the stabbing. How can you tell that? Blood splatter. Huh? See that dark crimson stain on the chief prosecutor's coat? That just looked like shading to me, but sure. It's a black and white photograph. Yes, it's hard to tell, but this could be blood. Well, Mr. Wright, I see no problem here. No problem, except you. Mr. Wright, are you going to just sit there and take that kind of abuse? Nah, not a better idea. Wait, that contradicts what the witness said in her testimony. Namely, that she took the picture the moment she witnessed the crime. Well, it seems I was slightly unclear. My apologies. That's it? If you run out of lunch, you order seconds. Problem solved. If you don't like it, try ordering the jumbo-sized lunch from the get-go. Good advice. I'm not sure I understood it, but good advice. You didn't have time to stop her. Prosecutor Sky was cold, calculating, like a robot. She looks pretty angry there. She killed without pain or remorse. It was a premeditated murder. Premeditated? How do you know? Look at the chief prosecutor's hands in the photograph. Well, are those gloves? Surgical gloves made of thin rubber, most likely. Why would she have those on? If it was not premeditated, she would not be wearing those gloves. These gloves do seem to tell a tale of premeditation. Premeditated murder. A serious offense. Witness, add this to your testimony. Murder was planned. The rubber gloves prove it. How did they prove it? What if she was just in the habit of wearing gloves, like driving gloves? The gloves were admitted as evidence when the defendant was arrested. They were rubber gloves of the kind used for autopsies. In other words, when the chief prosecutor came to the crime scene, she came to do murder. It's the only possible conclusion one can make. Everything was planned. It was a premeditated crime. Impressive. I'm sorry they took you off the force, Miss Starr. This is bad. She's got them thinking this was all planned. If she can prove this claim, the trial's already over. I've got to think of a way to show that this wasn't premeditated. It's only a flesh wound, Mr. Wright. We can make it. Stop saying that. I said that before. Okay. So, I've got to find something to prove that it wasn't premeditated. The rubber gloves prove it. Okay, let's look at this. What do we got? Got the autopsy report. Okay, yeah, the wound, the knives were two different ones. 67S. It looks like a parking, like to remember what his number was or something. Okay, so this was apparently made 3 minutes after the thing. No, that's not it. It's clearly faulty. It's clearly faulty, but I'm not presenting the right evidence. So no prints. Traces of the victim's blood. How did she get into the car? I've got to find something that proves it wasn't premeditated. Victim's note. 67S12-2. No. She wouldn't have... She... If it was premeditated, how did she get access to the car? How did she know when Edgeworth would come back? No, that isn't it. What do you think? I'm not sure I follow. It clearly contradicts something. You don't sound very convinced, Mr. Wright. Objection overruled. Yeah, she would have needed... Let me look at her statement. Through a wire fence, I saw the chief prosecutor standing next to a garage car. No, I've got to prove that it wasn't premeditated. That's the crux of this. That was a misclick, but sure, I'll go with it. Witness, do you know what this is? Are you trying to test me? I sell boxed lunches for a living, you know. That's a knife. The knife. The knife that was in Mr. Edgeworth's trunk. Indeed, it is my knife. It has Goodman's blood on it. What's with this case? The bloody murder weapon, a red car, all belonging to the prosecutor there? The defendant is the chief prosecutor for the district, right? Mommy, are prosecutors bad people? Yes. The defense has a request. We ask that the witness provide an accurate testimony. What's that, rookie? In your testimony, you stated that Lana Skye planned this murder, and that's why she was wearing those special gloves. It seems like a natural conclusion to me. The gloves do indicate planning. However, why would she not also prepare the most important thing? The murder weapon. Oh. This knife just happened to be in the trunk of that car. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're going to plan a murder, you don't forget the weapon. Ugh. It's so dramatic. Order, order, order. Great. Now the tide is turning in our favor. Great show, Mr. Wright. My sister's as good as free. Well, no, not yet. Right. I believe the next lunch you'll be eating is humble pie. Damn, dude. What? I hope you weren't deluding yourself into thinking that the tide has turned. Not over such a trifling detail. But this shoots a hole in the whole premeditated theory. Bah. The prosecution could care less if it was premeditated or not. The only one who seems to care is that lunch lady over there. The defendant, Lana Skye, murdered a detective with a knife. That is the only thing the prosecution need prove, nothing else. Very good, Mr. Prosecutor. Suppose you think you're clever now. But you know as well as I do that she planned on killing him. It was planned. If she wasn't, why would she have been wearing... I believe I'd like to hear your testimony again. Witness, please tell us only what you saw, not what you thought. How dare you? My powers of deduction are not to be underestimated. Really now? Lana Skye intended to murder Detective Goodman. That's why she called the victim all the way to the prosecutor's office. I'm sure the chief prosecutor had a grudge against the victim. Nothing else could drive that human machine to plunge the knife in again and again. It was one stab. It was a single stab with a different sized knife. And the victim was summoned from the police department to the prosecutor's office. It does sound a lot like premeditation, doesn't it? So, if I order pizza, does that mean I'm planning to kill the delivery boy? In any case, the defense may now cross-examine the witness. Look, the judge doesn't actually have to pay attention to anything. He's just kind of there to keep the thing warm. And to slam the gavel. Oh, whoops. Okay. I'm pretty sure I know where to go for, but let's check just to make sure. You said that, but you haven't told us how you know. That's what I'm talking to. That's what I'm about to tell you, Rookie. I believe what she just said was a mere prelude to the story she's about to tell. Try not to interrupt her again. Rookie. Never interrupt a storyteller. It's like pulling a bun out of the oven half-baked. Something's half-baked here, alright, and it's you. Try not to confuse the defense witness. They're not very quick on their feet. Damn, dude. Now, why did you believe the suspect had intentions to murder the victim? Her actions speak for themselves. You have no proof that Miss Skye called him there. You have no proof that she didn't. Mr. Edgeworth, your thoughts? There is no record of a call made on the defendant, Miss Lana Skye's phone. She might have written him a letter. Come on, you could have tried public phone first, at least. Yeah, the phone doesn't work. In any case, the victim came to the prosecutor's office where he was murdered. I'm sure he had a reason to be there. Witness? Why do you think it was the suspect who summoned the victim that day? A grudge over what? What kind of grudge? Well, I wouldn't know that. Of course you don't. That's because she didn't have a grudge. Rookie. I have a lunchbox here. Now, what's inside? How am I supposed to know? See, we agree there is a lunchbox here, but we don't know what's inside. A person's life is like a lunchbox with pretzels, don't you agree? I get it, and that's why my lunch was so salty. No, it's because you ate caviar. These judges are very good with metaphors. The suspect had a grudge against Detective Goodman. Will you tell us your basis for thinking this? It's simple. Yeah, this is just all conjecture she's telling us. Okay, yeah, again and again, this is the statement I'm looking for. A human machine? That's a contradiction. Please. Can't you find fault with something of substance, Mr. Wright? Note to self, Mr. Edgeworth's size smells like citrus fruit. Emma, we are on opposite sides of the room. How can you tell that? You say again and again. How many times did she stab him exactly? We often say chop into 1,000 pieces, but we don't actually mean 1,000 pieces. What difference does it make if the deed is done? How come she's getting mad at me? Let's just say she stabbed him several times and leave it at that. Leave it at that? This is a murder case, people! Mr. Wright, you should speak up if you have an objection, you know. Miss Starr has turned out to be as short-tempered as she looked when we met her. Challenging her abilities as a detective really set her off. Short wick burns out the fastest. It's a scientific fact. I wonder, wouldn't it depend on the size of the candle and the material of the wick? I mean, add more wax and even a really short wick will burn longer. Obviously, more scientific testing is required. Okay. Yeah, I need to wave that autopsy in her face, because it was just one stab. Just making sure. Yeah, a single stab wound. You say she stabbed him again and again, but you couldn't have witnessed that. Are you testing me? Then I'll test you. With my moss surprise. Oh god. I'm afraid the moss is growing under our feet as we wait, Miss Starr. What do you mean? I shouldn't have to explain this, but take a look. The autopsy report states that the death was due to a loss of blood from one stab wound. Aha! You're right. Good show, Mr. Edgeworth. I'm the one who pointed it out. What a hunk. He's my hero, really. What about my objection? No one noticed? Well, witness? You got the crime scene set, right? Oh, thanks. I always believed that no one could ever mistake ketchup for blood. And now I realize that such mistakes are possible. So, you're saying you mistook something for blood? When she lifted her knife, I thought I saw blood on her breast. Splattered blood from her victim. That's why I thought she must have stabbed him at least twice. Then tell us what you saw that you thought was blood. Testify. Her red muffler looked like blood to me. That's how ghastly that whole scene was. Her red muffler? Yes, like a scarf. The chief prosecutor also always wears one around her neck. So she can be easily hanged at a moment's notice, I suppose. She's right. Miss Skye was wearing a red scarf, wasn't she? But wait, isn't it odd that you mistook that for splattered blood? Also, how do you know? Like, you said she always wears it. How do you know that? Well, people often mistake my beard for a bib. Judge with a bib? That's why this place feels so much like kindergarten sometimes. Actually, I do think I saw some traces of blood on her chest. However, the autopsy report is clear on this matter. There was only one knife wound. Apparently Miss Starr isn't entirely sure of her own testimony. Mr. Wright, this is our chance! Chance for what, I wonder? Miss Starr has turned out to be a short-tempered... Okay, yeah. Okay, so... I'm sure the chief prosecutor had a grudge. Red muffler looked like blood to me. That's how ghastly the whole scene was. There was traces of the victim's blood. And she said there was blood on her chest. How would you be able to tell? Miss Starr, I demand an explanation. The witness is clearly not suited for detective work. What? The suspect was not wearing a scarf or muffler. Uh-oh. I didn't even notice that in the shot. She was not wearing a scarf or muffler of any kind when she stabbed the victim. And you've proved it yourself. With the photograph. Huh? But that can't be! Only a true professional could be so clueless. I'm sure you'll make a good lunch lady, have no fear. Harsh words, but good. In the end, Mr. Edgeworth prevails. But it was my objection! Granted, I didn't know about the scarf. I thought it was... I wasn't really paying that much attention to it, but I may have forgotten about it, but sure. But it was there, a scarf. No, not that, but something red. Really. Well now, where were we? The witness has given us an entertaining interlude, now back to business. What? Very well, witness. Continue your testimony. You saw the crime and apprehended the suspect. Tell us about that. Very well. I do remember some things accurately, at least. Ultimately, we couldn't shake the most important part of her testimony. The most important part? The part where your sister stabs the victim. This next testimony might just be the moment of truth. Edgeworth and Angel fighting each other. After the murder, the suspect attempted to run behind a partition off to her side. I quickly caught her, explained her rights to her, and arrested her on the spot. By what authority? Ah yes, when I arrested her, she mentioned the muffler. That's what had me confused in my earlier testimony. The chief prosecutor made to escape, but against Angel Star, resistance is futile. You were quite determined about this scarf, aren't you? I strike like a snake and bite like a cobra. That's me, Angel Star. That wasn't a very good metaphor. First of all, a cobra is a kind of snake. Don't bother me with details unless you want to get bitten. No thanks. Note to self. Attorney Wright gets bitten by snake. Emma. The chief prosecutor tried to resist, but her efforts were in vain. She knocked my hands aside, kicked over an oil drum. Oil drum? Hard to imagine. The oil drums that we couldn't move? Well, actually the one was empty. Oh, she's beautiful, but deadly. A predator, this one. A leopard woman. Row. Very well, Mr. Wright. Your cross-examination, if you will. Yeah. Yeah, she saw it through the chain link fence, but how did she get past there? Like, we know she didn't run away after the murder. She didn't attempt to run away. We know this because we found the phone right there. So where is this partition on the floor plans? I'm sure she means this wall. I'm sure she means this wall next to the car. That's right. There was a wall there, about 6 feet high. She was obviously trying to hide herself. Quite a natural thing for a criminal to do. And what did you do then? I quickly caught her, explained her rights to her, and arrested her on the spot. How did you do that? You say quickly. Were you close to the suspect? As I just said, I was only 30 feet away from her the whole time. Yes, but separated by a fence. Maybe I should press her for more details. Ooh. I'd like to see this on the floor plans, just to be safe. The Lunchland car was... She was a visitor, thus she was parked in B block. So you witnessed the murder from here? That would make it about 30 feet from the car, yes. Is that correct, Miss Starr? Yes, that's right. But there was a chain link fence in front of you. I went over it, of course. No, that stretches from floor to ceiling. Amazing! The Kaffa Queen, lunch lady athlete indeed. It would have taken her a little time to climb over the fence. So she couldn't have gotten to my sister that fast. Yeah, that fence was about... Oh, okay, there was a gap. Okay, I thought it was all the way to the ceiling. How come Miss Sky didn't get away? Because she wasn't running. When I arrested her, she mentioned the muffler. She mentioned the muffler? What exactly did she say? If I remember exactly, I would have told you in my testimony. Cheeky. Anyway, all I heard her say was the word muffler. Just that one word? So, what you heard wasn't the suspect talking to you, but to someone else? Yes, the chief prosecutor was talking on her phone. Her phone? You mean this cell phone? By phone, do you mean this cell phone discovered at the crime scene? Yes, ultimately. Ultimately? My memory... It's like a salmon, heading upstream, you see. No, the court doesn't see you, Miss Starr. The chief prosecutor first attempted to use the phone hanging on the wall. On the wall? That's right, near the car. There was an emergency phone on the wall. Apparently it was out of order. And so she used her cell phone? Indeed, the emergency phone was out of order that day. Good witnessing, witness. Good witnessing? What happened to good testifying? You should, of course, add this to your testimony. Things I do to please this rookie defense attorney. Yeah, the phone was found next to the car. She gave up trying to use the phone on the wall and just used her cell phone. No, she used her cell phone first. At about 5:18. Do you think you could restate your testimony for the court? I was going to ask the same thing. I'll only say this one time, so listen closely, rookies. So she moved to the telephone, then came back to the car. The chief prosecutor stabbed the victim and ran behind the partition. Then she picked up the emergency phone on the wall, but it was out of order. So she pulled out her own cell phone out of her pocket. How would you know? You couldn't see it behind the wall. And during that time, you climbed over the chain link fence. And then, when I boldly grabbed her arm, the chief prosecutor hung up her phone. And you saw her doing this? What is it, Mr. Wright? Made to escape. She gave up trying to use the phone on the wall and just used her cell phone.
Objection!
How the fuck do you know? I have to conclude that you have a personal grudge against Miss Lana Skye.
Objection!
The witness is a former detective. Her testimony is unmarred by personal bias. Edgeworth. Well, who would have thought you would be my knight in shining armor prosecutor? You, who, together with the chief prosecutor, kicked me out 2 years ago. Well, Miss Starr, this is a fatal contradiction with your testimony. How do you explain this? I don't know what you're talking about. Mess with me, and I'll make you cough it all up. Ahem. Let's look at the floor plans. You said you witnessed the crime from this point. However, if that's true, you couldn't have possibly seen Miss Skye making that phone call. I believe you see what I'm getting at. That emergency phone was on the back side of this partition. If indeed you were in B block, you couldn't have seen it. What?
Order? Order. What is the meaning of this?
It's simple, Your Honor. She's not coughing up lunch, she's coughing up lies. That's quite a claim, Mr. Wright. Perhaps you will allow me a question? Tell us exactly what lie this witness has told the court. Here's where the counterattack begins. I can't afford to get this wrong. The witness lied about the order of events. She lied about the order of events. Miss Skye used that emergency phone before the murder.
I see. I hadn't thought of that.
That took the wind out of her sails. Mr. Wright, I hate to bother you while you're celebrating your victory, but why would anyone use the emergency phone before the murder? Huh? Just when you think he can't sink any lower, he amazes us. I applaud you, Mr. Wright. You ordered the orange peel lunchbox, right? Usually the peel is not just a peel.
I guess that teaches me not to get excited before the evidence.
Uh-oh. One more try. I see it in your eyes. You haven't learned your lesson, have you? Tell us exactly what lie this witness has told the court. I got ahead of myself. Where she saw it, what she saw. She lied about what she saw. In other words, she didn't see Miss Sky using that emergency phone.
Does seem hard to imagine how she could have. Very logical.
Uh-oh. What's the matter, Star? Cat got your lunchbox? Oh, shit. Hate to bother while you're celebrating your victory. But why would Miss Star lie like that? Huh? Why would she say that my sister tried to use the phone but failed? It doesn't make any sense. Why lie about something so insignificant? Oh. She's right. I mean, maybe she really did see her try to use the emergency phone. I see no room for doubt here. You ordered the patooey on rice. What the hell? Why would you put watermelon seeds in rice? Why would you put watermelon in rice? It's just, give myself a little safety. She tried to use the emergency phone, but it was out of order. What is significant about this fact? Nothing. It would be pointless for her to lie about it.
Pointless to lie? I see.
The witness did actually see Miss Sky using the emergency phone. In other words, Miss Star witnessed the crime from a different location. Different location? Now that's a pointless lie if I ever heard one. Objection! 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 Before you call my lie pointless, at least let me tell it.
Let me ask a question to our clever wordsmith, Mr. Wright. Just where was the witness when she saw the crime?
All the testimony we've heard until now points in one direction. The place from where Miss Stahl witnessed the crime was here. This is the only place where she could have been.
Security guard room?
Indeed, the security guard room in the underground parking lot is well positioned. It's built on the second level, so you can see the entire lot.
She would have been able to see the emergency phone from there. But why there? There are many other places where she could have seen the phone.
Not in this case, Your Honor. The witness, not being part of the prosecutor's office, couldn't park in A block. The only place where she could have seen the crime and the back of the partition is here. I remember in your testimony you said you brought a lunch to your boyfriend in the security guard room, yes? Well, Miss Starr? How many years have I been getting the better of men? To think that the tables could be turned. Today, a man has gotten the better of Angel Starr.
Order! Order! Witness, what have you done? You used to be a detective. You should know better.
I'm not turning back. The guilty will be punished, and I'll do what I must to make sure justice prevails. The guilty? Is she talking about Miss Sky? Mr. Wright, doesn't this strike you as odd? Why did Miss Starr lie? It doesn't make sense. Huh? She could have just said she saw the crime from the security guard station. It wouldn't change anything. Exactly. This photograph tells all. It was the defendant who stabbed the victim. There's no body! That truth still stands. It still stands? I disagree, Mr. Edgeworth. What? If a witness is found to be lying, they're guilty of perjury. She knows this. She wouldn't risk that without a good reason.
So tell us what her reason was, Mr. Wright.
Huh? Me?
Who else?
Mr. Wright, let's review what we know. Miss Starr witnessed the crime from the security guard station. But she lied and said she saw it from B block. Must make a vital difference. But what? What would change? Difference in lighting. Distance to the crime. Angle of view to the camera. The difference in lighting? That wouldn't, it wouldn't change any lighting. Angle of view. distance to the crime. As always, safety save. It changes the distance between her and the scene of the crime. My condolences, Mr. Wright, but one look at the floor plans and it's quite clear. The distance between the scene of the crime and the guard station is 30 feet. I don't see how that would change what she could see. No, but it would change how far she could go. What she saw is not in question here. What matters is the time it would take her to reach the scene of the crime. Yeah. Miss Starr, you witnessed the crime from the security guard station. Now, how long did it take you to go from there to the scene of the crime where you arrested Miss Sky? Yeah, it would have taken her much less time. Well, witness? Yes? You ordered the squid wheels, right? I'd be down for that. The quality of my lunches has gone from low to inedible. Hey! I was bringing a PB&J lunch with fresh boysenberry jam to my boyfriend.
Boysenberry for the boyfriend.
He wasn't in the station, so I waited. I witnessed the crime from the glass-walled station. And before I knew what I was doing, I found myself running toward this thing. But the door was locked. I couldn't open it. So she ran all the way the fuck around and climbed the fence. That's why I had to go through the visitors parking in B block.
That's quite a detour.
It probably took me at least 5 minutes to get to the scene of the crime. 5 minutes?
5 minutes? This changes things considerably.
But it was that woman over there in the defendant's chair who stabbed him. I know it. I have photographic evidence. You have a picture of her. You don't have a picture of anything else. I swear it. I swear it on my finest plastic spork.
You have a point. And the spork is a wonderful invention.
Would you like another caviar lunch?
Absolutely.
Uh-oh. Mr. Wright, you have to do something. Do I have any evidence to stop this? Objection! 5 minutes between the witnessing of the murder and the arrest. Think about it. You can make pasta in that amount of time, if you like it al dente. We've got lunchboxes that tie pasta into knots, rookie. But do you have pasta in your lunchbox? A 5-minute blank. Isn't that strange? Strange. If you were a criminal, what would you do with 5 minutes, Your Honor?
Well, I guess I'd flee the scene. Hey, don't get the wrong idea. I didn't kill anyone.
But you have the instincts of a killer. You would run. But this time was different. Miss Sky dawdled at the scene of the crime. She even had her picture taken. No true criminal would act this way. It's inconceivable. Yeah! She has been reacting in pain so much.
Well then, it seems we've come to the end of this testimony. She has a grudge against the defendant, and there is a blank in her testimony. Mr. Edgeworth, is the next witness ready to go?
Unfortunately, I appear to have overestimated this witness on account of her professional history. You did it! You screwed that can shut, Mr. Wright. It was too close. Wait, who's the second witness?
I'm afraid that the cough-up queen has been dethroned. And with that, the court is adjourned.
Mr. Edgeworth, you ordered the squid wheels, right? It's the one she tried to foist off on me. I prefer not to take the defense team's leftovers. Anything else to say? I might be able to save you. I have decisive evidence.
What was that?
Is this another one of her trick lunchboxes?
My apologies, but we have no further questions to ask of you, Miss Starr.
Is this your jumbo lunchbox?
Woohoo! A triple-decker!
Dude.
Out of deference to the witness's determination, I'll allow one more testimony. Let's hear about this decisive evidence.
Like the Lunchland motto says, you won't be disappointed. What's she gonna pull out of her lunchbox this time? God damn it, Judge. It was literally bribed with food in the middle of a fucking case. I should have mentioned those 5 minutes when I wasn't looking at the crime scene. And now? To the matter of the victim's shoe. Did I not bring this up? 2 types of blood were found on the shoe. One was, of course, the victim's, and the other was the defendant, Miss Lana Sky's blood. This shoe proves it. It's flawless, decisive evidence.
What? There was blood found on that shoe?
Try Lunchland for all your lunch and decisive evidence needs. Witness, what's the meaning of this? Why is this the first time I've heard of this evidence? Simple, as I've already said. I don't trust you with evidence, Mr. Edgeworth. Yeah, but you're supposed to put evidence in at the beginning of the trial. It doesn't count if you do it in the middle. That's why I took the liberty of investigating this myself.
And you had a blood test performed.
Did I mention? I have 3 boyfriends in forensics.
In any case, Your Honor, I can't accept this as evidence.
What?
You should know the 2 rules of evidence law, Miss Starr. Rule 1. No evidence shall be shown without the approval of the police department. In other words, this shoe is illegal evidence, at least for the time being.
Is that right, Mr. Wright?
It seems so. Edgeworth's shoe sure is celebrating. Not so fast, Mr. Edgeworth.
Don't forget, I used to be a detective, as I mentioned previously. This shoe has already been tested by a member of the forensics department. As you can see, it was approved by the police department as of today. Even the general public can produce official evidence, Mr. Edgeworth. Is that right, Mr. Wright? It seems so. Worth is looking pretty sullen. You'd at least study some evidence law, really. I don't think Wright really knows a whole lot about the law in particular.
Here's that this evidence satisfies the first rule of evidence law. Well, it seems you have yet another count against you, witness.
Anything to ensure that the guilty are properly judged.
Very well, Mr. Wright. You may cross-examine the witness.
Do I have to? We know she lied. She's already guilty of lying under oath. Well, I guess she didn't take the oath, but still. Fine. He's good at bullshitting. That's what Phoenix is good at. Why did you lie about those 5 minutes? I guess you could say, I just wanted people to look at the results. The results? How many times do I have to say this? I saw the chief prosecutor stab the victim before my own very eyes. Compared to that, a 5-minute blank means nothing.
Then why didn't you just tell the truth?
Don't make me laugh. We're dealing with the most untrustworthy of the vile lot known as prosecutors. Falsified evidence, arrangement testimonies, oh my god, yada yada. When you fight monsters, you need to use every trick in the book. This one the suspect is admitting she did it?
False testimony is the most despicable crime of all, Miss Starr. Let's just get this over with.
No, you didn't bring it up. And you found the shoe at the scene of the crime? I detained the chief prosecutor and notified the police department. I wanted to make myself useful while I was waiting for the police to arrive. So, like an ill-trained pooch, you snuck off with a shoe. I was afraid someone would erase the chief prosecutor's crime. This shoe was my secret weapon if that should happen. See this fashionable basket I have here? It carries more than lunchboxes, gentlemen.
I'm happy for you and your lunchbox bag. Really. In any case, you removed valuable evidence from the scene of a crime. Now tell us what you did next. She's basically just building a case against herself. So, you brought it to the forensics department. If you're going to submit something as evidence in court, you need it approved. To do that, evidence must be analyzed by a forensics expert. She got away with her little coup because she used to be a detective. The judge does... the shoe does appear to have bloodstains on it. Makes sense. After all, a man was stabbed here. And that blood belonged to the victim, Detective Goodman? As I said, there were 2 types of blood found on the shoe. The other was the defendant, Miss Lana Sky's blood. Okay, but there's only one kind of blood found on the knife. Can't say for sure that the blood belonged to the victim with a blood test. You claim to know something about blood tests, rookie. Huh? Well, speak up. Oh, well... Blood comes in 4 types, A, B, 0, and AB. However, you can't tell from a blood test whether a murder was performed in cold blood. That's just a figure of speech, Mr. Wright. Actually, if you combine all the various blood tests, there are millions of types. It's practically impossible to narrow a blood sample down to one person. Or so I hear. It is? Millions of types. If I had a little more time, I would have gotten DNA test results. But they say that there's very little doubt it could be anyone but Miss Lana Skies. So the suspect's blood was found on the victim's shoe. That ties her directly to the death of Detective Goodman. I was afraid he was going to say that. No, but if there were 2 on the shoe, then whose is it on the knife? It's pretty sly, hiding evidence like that. There's nothing sly about it. You're using the law as a weapon. In any case, science is always on our side. Don't forget, scientific investigation is the wave of the future. Maybe I should investigate this evidence a little more closely. Okay, so... 2 types of blood were found on the shoe. One of them is, of course, the victim's. Now, she had... Oh, okay. Let's see. Examine the blood. This blood, it's my sister's, right? It appears so. On his right hand was bandaged when I saw her in jail. She must have cut herself at the time of the crime. Poor sis. Oh, that's... yeah, I didn't mean to click that. Let's just see inside the shoe, can we? No, nothing there. Is there anything on the bottom? She stepped in blood. Ah! There's blood here too! The sole of the shoe. It's gotta be the victim's. He must have stepped in a puddle of his own blood. All this blood. It's horrible. This blood might be an important clue. Okay, so there's... Edward's knife. Traces of the victim's blood. This must be the victim's blood, right? Either that, or Edgeworth cut himself peeling an apple. Yeah, what's Edgeworth doing with a knife like this anyway? Hey, maybe he spends his... Oh, yeah, we covered this. Yeah, there's only one kind of blood on the knife. Okay. Safety save. Ooh. The defendant, Miss Lana Sky's blood. 2 types of blood were found on this shoe. But only one was found on the knife. Okay, that was wrong. The other was Miss Lana. His shoe proves it. It's flawless, decisive evidence. Nope. I'm glad I have the music to tell me if I got it wrong or not. Solana Sky's blood. Okay. Try the knife one more time. Nope. Okay, so... could you indicate which was her blood? Nope. Okay, I'm moving too fast. I need to take a sec. So, the defendant Miss Lana Sky's blood. Let's go over that statement again. Can't say that for sure. Claim to know something about blood tests. Speak up. Well, blood comes in 4 types. However, can't tell from a blood test whether murder performed it called blood. That's just a figure of speech. It's possible to tell, narrow it down to one person. There's millions of types. Time I could have gotten DNA. They said there was very little doubt it could be anyone but Miss Lana Skies. Ties are directly. Okay. Death due to loss of blood. Yeah, he was apparently stabbed once with a 12-inch knife, or 12-centimeter knife, which apparently still hasn't come up, despite, the contradiction. Blood on the bottom of the shoe and the blood on the side, 2 different things. This is the victim's shoe. So whose blood did he step in? Now, was this his blood that he stepped in? And whose blood is it that's on the top? It's not perfect decisive evidence. Okay, so, she has traces of blood on her. There's no body here. There's also no blood stains on the ground. If there's blood on the bottom of the victim's shoe, there would have had to have been blood stains on the ground, but there weren't. Death was due to a loss of blood, so there would have been blood everywhere. So how was there so little blood at the scene of the crime? Yeah, it's just, I'm pretty sure it's this statement. One was, of course, the victim's. 2 types of blood were found on the shoe. How do we know it's 2 types of blood? I mean, I know she said she got a blood test. The defendant, Miss Lana Sky's blood. But do we know that for certain? Yeah, this is... can't say that for sure. Yeah, this is the statement that's the most suspicious, just going off of what they're all saying. can't let this evidence go through without a fight. You ordered the peppered fish guts, right? Ew. Some like it hot, Mr. Wright. Some, like your client, she's in enough hot water to make a whole batch of Mr. Wright, do you or don't you have a problem with this shoe? Problem? This is critical. What's wrong with the victim's shoe? Oh, okay, well, fuck. It's the one thing I didn't press, of course. I'm not imagining things. Fuck, there was no contradiction. It was just... I got ahead of myself and started contradicting when I hadn't pressed everything. I'd say there's one critical problem with this evidence. A clear contradiction. That gleam in your eyes. You're still young, rookie. Give you a peppered fish gut right now. But you couldn't take the heat, could you? Let's hear what Mr. Wright has to say. What is contradictory about the victim's shoe? Show us the problem with this evidence. The blood on the bottom. I wonder if you noticed. There's blood on the bottom of the shoe. Don't mess with me, rookie, or it'll be your blood on the bottom of my shoe. Indeed, there is quite a bit of blood on the bottom of the shoe. Makes sense. The victim was stabbed with a knife. What could possibly be contradictory about blood on the bottom of his shoe? I'm guessing your shoe has blood on it too. You just shot yourself in the foot. Oh. Would you like a grinder, or grind from the heel of my boot, Mr. Wright? Fuck. Got ahead of myself. Okay. As I thought, a waste of time. Well, that was a nice break. Let's return to the testimony. Hey, hey! Fuck you! Shit. Let me... Okay. Okay. So... what is it about the bottom of... or what other evidence do I have to go with the bottom of the shoe? I mean, I pointed out the lack of blood, but what evidence do I have to reinforce that? The photo? The autopsy will report the death of blood loss. So that doesn't contradict the shoe. Shows the problem with this evidence. Sure. Yeah, the photo is all I can guess because there would have to be blood. Indeed, there is quite a bit of blood on the bottom of the shoe. Makes sense. The victim was stabbed with a knife. What could possibly be contradictory about blood on the bottom of his shoe? Okay, yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the photo. The problem lies in the footprint. The footprint? Let's also think about the rope outline of the body. His feet were in the trunk. Note that the bottom of the victim's shoe is covered in blood. Then, isn't it strange? Why weren't any bloody footprints found by the scene of the crime? Aha! As you can see, there were no traces of any such footprints at the scene of the crime. That contradicts your claim about this shoe. This picture only shows part of the floor, so there could have been bloody footprints. There was no blood of the crime. If there were bloody prints, they would have been found. We checked the scene and found nothing of the sort. Order, order, order. Well, witness? What? Huh? Right going, Mr. Wright. But it's true that the lack of footprint is a contradiction. But then we have to ask why there wasn't a footprint. Because the photo was taken before anything happened. That's true. There has to be a reason why there wasn't a footprint. Think, Mr. Wright, think. Hey, I don't know why it's not there. I'm just good at finding contradictions. What? I see. Now I get it. Get what? Our witness is more devious than I gave her credit for. We were hoodwinked to the very end. But she slipped. There was one vital hint to the truth in her testimony. What are you talking about? Think back to when she told us about apprehending the suspect. The chief prosecutor tried to resist, but her efforts were in vain. She knocked my hands aside, kicked over an oil drum. Oh, she's beautiful but deadly. A predator, this one. A leopard woman. Wow. I thought that was a strange thing for the normally cool-headed chief to do. No kidding. Now, witness, allow me to ask a very simple question. This oil drum, was it empty? Oh, that? I'm not sure I like your attitude, Mr. Edgeworth. Though apparently you're not the slowest conveyor belt in the lunchbox factory. Witness. Well, was the oil drum empty? It was full of water. The oil drum kicked over by the chief prosecutor was brimming with water. Well then how the fuck did she kick it over? Water? What does that mean? Still don't get it, Mr. Wright? Do you want to know the reason she knocked it over? The real reason? Uh-huh. You don't mean... Yes, the suspect knocked over the oil drum for one reason, and one reason alone. To erase the bloodstains that would become evidence against her. I don't know if you've ever dealt with blood, dude, but it doesn't get out that easily. That ties up things quite nicely. The bloodstains left on the victim's shoes tie her quite clearly to this murder. Then, after the deed was done, she knocked over the oil drum to erase the telltale signs. Why, that's a prosecutor's specialty. Erasing evidence. Reminds me, this guy's right hand was hurt. Didn't she say she'd cut herself when she stabbed him? Also, why was she so insistent about confessing? So, my sister's blood on the shoe, that's when it happened? Well, I see no reason to prolong this trial. Mr. Wright, do something, please! What? What can I do? Your sister has confessed to the crime, and she tried to conceal it. But... Enough. There is no need for further debate. The verdict, Your Honor. Very well. But Angel Star is on the prosecution's side. She could have been lying about the water. This court finds the defendant Miss Lana Skye. Hold it. Little girl, what did you just say? Huh? Me? Did you just say that I, Angel Star, was on the prosecution's side? Well, yeah, you are. You're saying my sister hid evidence by erasing the bloody footprints. Well, I thought you'd had your fill, but here you are demanding a second helping. Oh my god, is she helping us? Another lunchbox. A lunchbox called evidence. Wait, witness, don't tell me you had something else. Witness, shut the fuck up. You've reached your verdict, Your Honor. Any further comments will be held in contempt of court. Your threats don't scare the Cough-Up Queen. Look at this. A photograph? I had this just in case anyone had the gall to suggest that the white shoe didn't belong to the victim. I see no room for error in this evidence. Mr. Wright, wait! Look at that asphalt in this photo. Hey, it's clearly wet. Erasing the last trace of doubt from the court's mind. Immediately after the murder, the crime scene was washed with water. I'm sorry, Mr. Wright. I guess I couldn't help after all. It's not your fault. I knew I couldn't win this case from the beginning. And it seems this is what your sister wanted anyway. I'm sorry, Mia. Before you get real sorry... Oh, that's not part of my evidence, so I can't look at it. Right. Wet or not, Don't be so quick to throw in the towel. Wait, am I a spirit medium now? Get yourself up off the asphalt. Take another good look. Don't give up. Not until the bitter end. Maybe I'm better at this than my own spirit medium assistant. This is the last piece of evidence. Very well. This time I'd like to declare a verdict for good.
Objection!
Objection! Edgeworth just leaning way back and staring at the ceiling, just barely holding it in. Your Honor, wait. What is it with you people? Can't I hand down my verdicts in peace anymore? Dude, you haven't been able to do that from, like, the second case. Whatever it is, can it wait? No, it can't. Then it'll be too late. Look at this photograph, the last one submitted. This trial isn't over until we give each piece of evidence proper consideration. So, Wright, are you saying there's a problem with this latest piece of evidence? Yeah, I'll think later. Yeah, there's a problem. Right or wrong, I've got to go ahead with this. I suppose since we've come this far, we should give every claim a fair shake. Very well, Mr. Wright. Show the court the problem in this photograph. Okay. The victim's shoe is off. The knife is stuck in his breast. That looks like blood to me. Save. Alright, I'm gonna indicate the knife. Because I really want it to be the knife. Well, it's probably here, don't you think? Nope. As your elder, Mr. Wright, let me give you a piece of advice. When you point at something, at least remember to keep your eyes open. I believe he's trying to say that no one's falling for your bluffs, Mr. Wright. Open your eyes, Mr. Wright. Think scientifically. Show the court the problem in this photograph. Okay, science. The blood. Well, it's probably here. Nope. Okay, it wasn't the blood. The license plate? Well, it's probably here. No. Why was his shoe off in the first place? No. Okay. What's this in the exhaust? The problem is, photograph is here. What's this? What's this? There's something poking out of the car's muffler. Wait just a moment, Mr. Edgeworth. Your Honor, you just said muffler. However, I see no trace of a muffler or a scarf of any kind in this photograph. Judge, a muffler is also part of a part on a car or motorcycle, Your Honor. Just think of it as a part of the exhaust system, a pipe. Yeah, it's the thing that makes cars go quiet. Ish. I see. And I see. God, I fucking hate people who take the mufflers off their cars. It's so annoying. What's that suspicious looking cloth sticking out of the car's muffler? So what if there's something sticking out of the muffler? What does that have to do with this case? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. Well, sorry, Miss Starr, but it's not going to be that easy. In fact, you've already told us why this is important to the case. You said as much in your testimony. What? Let's hear what Mr. Wright has on his mind. Tell us why you think this piece of cloth in the muffler is related to this case. I think... Well, Your Honor, how do you feel about that? Oh, shit. Actually, I don't feel well at all. I have this pounding headache. No, I mean, what do you think about the I'm afraid the reason for that headache is you, Mr. Wright. Shit. Muffler. Fuck, it was the phone. It's the phone. And let's see what Mr. Wright has on his mind. It's the phone. Miss Starr, can recall your testimony for the court. Ah yes, when I arrested her, she mentioned the muffler. That's what had me confused in my earlier testimony. Muffler? Could it be that the muffler you heard mentioned was actually this exhaust pipe? If so, that means this piece of cloth is vital evidence. Oh. Whoa! Phew. Please let it end right now. Come on, dude. Well, it seems we'll have to suspend the proceedings. Suspend? I find myself wondering about that piece of cloth. If we leave any question here unanswered here, we do a disservice to the law. Have the car at the crime scene inspected at once, and bring me that cloth. The verdict will wait until after we've seen all the evidence. Agreed? I suppose so. Phew, that was close. But we made it. At least for now. The court will adjourn for a 30-minute recess. It's lunchtime after all. Actually, it's bedtime for me. He's still hungry? Well, he mostly ate rice. It's not particularly filling, at least to me. Okay. So, I thought this was going to be a lot shorter than it ended up being, so I will have to continue this tomorrow, because it is bedtime for me. So, yeah. It's like, well, this has been interesting so far, but yeah. Have a good night. See ya.